Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, or good night, wherever the hell you are, gentlemen. Welcome. This stream was inspired by MGTOW Outlaw's video today. I don't know how many of y'all saw it, but he was talking about how he is getting depressed. Hey, JR, Chris Mitchell, Cubbing Speed, or Cubing, and Zechariah. Welcome, 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 one and all. He was getting depressed, trying to find validation or wondering if it's even possible to get validation from external sources. And I told him no. I said, you can't, as a MGTOW, you've got to, work on yourself for yourself. That's the same thing that goes the same way with the validation part of it. If you're happy with the way you are, if you're happy with who you are inside, then that's the way it should be. Hey, Outlaw, come on in. Yeah, I've got the throat problem still, but I'm feeling much better than I have been for the last 3 days. And also, with this throat thing going on, I would really like it if other people could join in. That way I can save my voice as much as possible. Especially Outlaw. If you could jump on in here, that'd be great. So click that link, Outlaw, if you can, because this stream was inspired by your video, sir. Yep, green tea and ginger. I happen to be a firm believer in lots of water and vitamin C. Have you guys tried to buy fucking orange juice lately? Jesus Christ. It's expensive. So, nobody is jumping on. That's kind of disappointing. And Island Hermit is here. Who's in the guest slot? We've got Mouth Agape Ape. Welcome to the stream, Mr. Ape.
Yeah, I'll have to come back in there. Something's wrong with the volume here. I'll get out and get back in.
Okay, you sound good, though, from here. Yes, cough drops and 3 shots. When I was over in Ukraine, vodka was the cure-all for everything. But if you had like a throat cold like this, they told you to drink vodka, but put a tablespoon, not a teaspoon, a tablespoon of black pepper and a shot of vodka, mix it all up and then drink it. God, that'll wake you up in the morning. So then we had the ginger and vodka, which was seen as a preventative. That's how you kept from getting COVID. You should have a slice of ginger in your vodka. I don't know if it worked or not, but I only had COVID once, so I think it must have worked. All right, let me put the link out there one more time. And well, it has been my experience when I've relied on other people for validation that I've always been let down.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Howdy, 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 brothers.
Sorry,
What's up, Mitchell?
Probably won't be saying much because I'm dealing with a lunatic.
3-year-olds.
Yes. What is that? It's a mountain.
Oh, I thought he was talking about Brandon.
Hi, Brandon.
Hi. Hello. Hi.
That's Brandon. That's Ape.
Hi.
Ape has got the best beard in MGTOW. Did you know that?
He got a big beard.
Yeah.
And now we've got cubbing. Is it cubbing or cubing?
QB.
Cubing.
Well, welcome
So
to
it's
cubing.
All right.
Looking. Hey. Not seeing for sure if anyone's hearing.
Hey, you little broken
Am I
up
coming
there.
in?
Say that again, Chris.
I said he's a little broken up, but I'm probably broken up too. Oh, I'm being attacked.
Am I
What do you
on?
mean your mic's breaking up a little bit?
Crap.
Sorry, I'm being attacked. I can't help right now.
I myself.
Oh, no.
Wait, crap. I'm going.
Oh, did
Well,
you bump your
Cuban,
head?
when you can talk, go ahead and talk.
All right, bro.
We're having trouble
Um,
hearing you.
I'm sorry for that. I'm trying my best. Good evening, gents. Coming from Trinidad. I'll try and get a better mic at some point. Well, we a cat. And yeah, I'll try to be more visible in future.
Oh,
I
so
think I
you're
should
in China?
No, Trinidad, Caribbean.
Oh, the Caribbean. So which island?
Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad to be specific.
All right.
This is a new device, so that's probably why you're hearing audio problems, I should say. But yeah, I'll be listening in.
I had a friend back in the 1980s who went to Trinidad to go work at the fertilizer factory. Apparently, they have a lot of natural gas in Trinidad, and they make fertilizer down there.
A lot of resources, but a lot of mismanagement when it comes to politics.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the show. It's the first time I've heard you talk, and we're glad to have you.
I've tried with Polo Bob, but yeah, I've had problems here as well.
All right. Hemi 4-Speed, welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, Brandon. Hope you're feeling better.
I am feeling much better. And I don't sound it, but I feel a lot better.
Hey, Brandon, I have a confession to make.
What is it?
I told Scotty and Ike that they should raid your stream the other night because I was on their stream. I didn't think they were going to come in like that. They came in hard.
Oh, it was great. I loved it.
Well, you weren't saying much, and you didn't look like you felt good. And you were like, I was like, man, I think he's pissed. And then afterwards, you said you were feeling sick, and you cut off. So I thought, well, that was probably just it. But yeah, I was on Scotty's stream, and I go, they were talking, and they were all in that hotel room, and I said, I'm going over to True Blood stream. I said you should probably raid it, and then it was like 5. I gave you a hint in your comments. You said something about Scotty, and I said, well, expect a raid here shortly. And then boom, he was there. And I was like, oh, okay. It was good to see those guys, though. I'm glad that they got to meet up.
Oh yeah, I was happy to see everybody there, and even people I didn't recognize.
Yeah.
Like there was that guy wearing the blue shirt sitting in the back. That
5
never
years
said
of freedom.
I don't know who he was. He never said anything.
Yeah,
I
5
think
years.
that. Yeah, I think that was 5 years of freedom.
So
And then Polska Bob, he was in and out. I guess it's been confirmed he has a squirrel bladder.
he must,
Once you break the seal.
because even in that short little time, he was he went to piss twice. It's not a manly bladder. It was nice to talk to Zombro and hear about him being the defender of truth, justice, and the American way.
Captain Mika.
Well, did you guys hear that story?
Yeah.
This guy was giving this gay couple that had a child with them. This guy was like screaming obscenities to him, and Eric told him to shut up and not pick on them when they got the kids there. And the guy turns around and punches Eric right in the throat where he just had his cancer operation. So Eric broke his fucking knee.
Sounds like he deserved it.
What's that, Cuban?
Oh no, just said sounds like the other guy deserved it. Captain Kneecap is a new legend born.
He had it coming.
Yeah, if you go after a family like that, you're a scumbag. It doesn't matter if you don't approve of, the lifestyle. I certainly, what two consenting adults do is none of my business. It's only when they start going after the children that it matters. Now, when two guys adopt a baby, I can understand that. The urge to procreate or to have a family is pretty strong. I certainly, I've got 3 kids, so I certainly didn't withhold on my, doing my part to increase the population. But,
Your seed dispensing?
yeah, my seed dispensing duties. 2 of those kids are biologically mine, and the third one was adopted. I know, don't go after single moms, but single mom was hot. And she was my trophy wife.
That would be falling under the topic temptation, right?
Yeah, it was stupid, but she was hot, really fucking hot.
Hey, Cuban, are you a native of Trinidad?
Yep, born and bred.
I've noticed in some of your comments, and you've made mention that that there were things lost in the translation. So I was just wondering. Your English is very good.
Yeah. Basically, I've been yeeted off YouTube a few times, so I've decided, instead of worrying about name, I'll make my comments in text that anyone will recognize me regardless. It seems to be working so far.
How old are you? You don't have to give any information, but how old of a gentleman are you?
It's cool. I'm 36 this year.
You're 36?
Just a baby.
Yeah, I see it the same way.
You and Mitchell are just youngins.
Yeah.
Oh, please. We're older than dirt.
Well, that makes Brandon and me really old.
Well, you're as old as the hills.
Yeah.
Well, technically, dirt is older than the hills.
What came first, dirt or hills?
Well, the hills erode, and when the hills erode, they turn into dirt.
There you go. You're older than dirt.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. Mid 30s is the sweet spot, in my opinion. You know, it's,
Hey, quick question.
mid 30s
Quick
is the
question.
sweet
Am I
spot.
getting any echo? I don't
Yeah,
want to mess with the mic. Am I getting any echo?
Okay.
Is the audio coming in clear? Should I move closer to the router? Oh,
it's coming in fairly clear now.
There's some
okay, good.
background noise, but that's about it.
That might be the cat or the fan.
You don't have YouTube streaming on another device, and we're getting a little bit of feedback. Do you?
Oh, that might be it. I'll shut it off.
Now say something, QB.
Something queuing.
Very good.
There you go.
Do I get a treat? How about a drink? I could go for a drink. I think full stuff comes on a little bit.
There's still a little bit of an echo, but we can pick up the gist of what you're saying. So, Hemi, how are you doing up in Canada?
Canada? Yeah, Canada, man. I don't know.
Canada.
It's, it is what it is.
What
I'm not
has
happy about it.
what has Justine Castro done today?
I tried to avoid any news about him. I don't know. I think he's been quiet.
Well, they're trying to cut back on the whole fucking handgun ban now, basically trying to walk that back and say, oh, well, maybe we didn't get it quite right. Yeah, go fuck yourselves. Every politician should be taken out and shot.
Is he trying to walk back that all out ban on new purchasing and stuff?
Yeah. Well, apparently it didn't get the response that we wanted. Well, it's funny because it got the exact response that the stores wanted when over a fucking 1.5 million more handguns were sold.
No guns left on the shelves.
Yeah, I was telling you guys a while back on a stream. I have an uncle that used to race cars, stock cars, and he was in Washington State, and he would go up to Canada, and there's actually a track right on the U.S. side of the border, but most of the people that go and come in race are Canadians. And he was talking to them about handguns, and they said everybody. He said that one of the guys that races there, he goes, everybody in the pits here has a handgun in their truck. And he goes, well, I thought those were hard to get or illegal. And he goes, everybody here has a gun in their truck, and that's all he would say. And my uncle just laughed and says, man, I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, well, if they want us to give up all handguns, I'll tell you what, we'll make a compromise. We'll give up all handguns, but everything else comes off the ban list. Everything. We get full autos, fucking artillery, cannons, doesn't matter. We get it all, you keep the handguns. No problem.
Well, our Joe Tato in chief says you couldn't own a cannon back in the times of the Second Amendment.
That's bullshit.
There was a lot of people that owned cannons. There was people that actually on the rivers like the Mississippi in there. There were people that owned battleships or their modern day gunships.
Yeah, you couldn't have cannons. Like fuck, you couldn't.
Idiot.
But that's what happens. Like Pop was saying tonight. They don't represent us anymore. You know what I mean? They're here to rule over us now. They don't represent the people. So then I guess the government is completely fucking invalid, right? When was the last time the government representatives ever represented a person? Never.
They represent an ideology.
Yeah, and themselves.
And it's not our ideology, it's their ideology.
Then I guess they're all invalid fucking politicians, right? Because the last time I checked, they were elected to serve the people, not rule over the people. Am I wrong?
Government by the people, of the people, and for the people.
Yeah. Well, all that's fucking been scratched. So I guess we all need a new government.
When
Did
the
you,
government fails, an emperor shall rise.
Did
Amen.
you guys see the all of the left side calling Clarence Thomas all those nasty racial slurs?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
but it's okay if they do it.
pretty pathetic.
Yeah, in one hand they're praising him, and that they're waiting for this black female judge to come in, and they're saying, oh, it's going to be the first African American Supreme Court justice. It's like, Thomas has been sitting on the bench for damn near half of my life. So
What about Thurgood Marshall?
Yeah, it's like they have very limited memories, or they have selective memory loss when it comes to something like that. It's just the newest, greatest thing. What can we push today? And they forget a lot of history, and some of the things they were saying. It was you know what? They showed exactly who started the Ku Klux Klan.
It was the Democrats.
They showed exactly who had slaves.
Well, that means the Democrats as well.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how that works,
right? And now they're trying to make slaves of us all, and they're using a couple, mixed colored people to kind of help them out. That's oil for Daddy's guns. Give it here.
Did you see that horse-tooth AOC trying to get the Supreme Court justices impeached? I saw a meme today with AOC on it, and said, AOC, the first waitress in history that brought nothing to a table.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious. I was gonna say,
man, I got a chuckle out of that one.
We live in an amazing world when a waitress who's like 19 can go from being a waitress to being a fucking senator.
Well, she's not a senator, thank God.
Well, what is she?
She's a congresswoman.
Congresswoman. Whatever.
Yeah,
it doesn't
she's
matter.
in the House.
You went from waitress to Congress. You know what I mean? Like, what's next? Gardener to fucking president? Why not?
I think she
that.
was I think Hammerhand was talking about her. She got in her congressional seat with 14,000 votes.
Yeah, that was her margin of victory.
Oh, was it?
The what?
Okay. I thought it was a total of 14,000 because there was the person she was running against refused to come to a debate or refused to do something, so they just slandered the hell out of them, and then she got put in there. But she got put in there with a lot of help, kind of like
oh yeah, she had big money backing her.
Well, I just want to remind Chris Mitchell. I got to remind Chris Mitchell that we have a drama teacher, snowboard instructor for our prime minister. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but I don't think even a career in politics really means anything.
At least he was born
substitute
into it,
drama teacher.
Yeah, but at least he was born into it. I mean, Trudeau comes from a legacy of dictators, right? So, I mean, his father Castro runs Cuba forever. His uncle is running it now. His
stepdaddy was the prime minister of Canada, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I'd say his stepdaddy because he don't look nothing like it. He's got
be like his adopted father, because isn't he like the love child of Fidel Castro?
Yes. Yeah. Come on, man, have a look at him.
Did you ever
look
see
at a
the
picture
pictures?
of Justin Trudeau and Fidel Castro side by side. They look identical. Okay? Identical.
Yeah.
That's not by fucking coincidence. And the coincidence that they were having gangbangs together, 9 months prior to his birth. It's not a coincidence.
Well, and
You
I've
did
seen
CJ.
pictures of his mom,
Put it back in there.
and his so-called dad with Castro, and Castro was looking at a magazine or a newspaper article or something, and you could tell that his mom was sprung on him because she was touching his arm in that way, and I'm sure his stepdaddy's probably a cuck. He probably watched old Castro ream her out.
Yeah, no, he's gay. He liked young men.
The old man, or
Yeah, no, Trudeau, like actual Trudeau. Not Trudeau light.
Pierre.
Castro. But
Pierre.
yeah, no, Trudeau Senior loved young boys. And that's why he went to Cuba so much.
he had a little flavor for that Latin blood.
Yeah. Like those little Latino boys.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice when Castro died, all the world leaders were like, he was a dictator and fucking piece of shit all around, and the world's a better place. Justin was the only one who broke into fucking tears with his eulogy. He was like, "Oh, the world's missing a great leader." But what the fuck?
Yeah, his daddy.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't slip up and say, "Papa."
Well, like I said, if Trudeau gets voted out here or booted out, or if we go into a civil war, which I'm going to go with civil war, I was seriously asking if he would
Hemi,
go
you
back.
got a lot of noise coming off you, man.
There you go.
Seriously wondering if he was going to go and try to take the country over from his uncle. Like just move to Cuba and try to take that back.
Well, I don't think you Canadians, the Canadian soldiers could handle that heat and humidity down there, could you?
Well, I don't know whoever's going with him. I personally don't care. I just want him gone.
It'd probably be a bunch of blue hats.
If they leave
Brother,
him here, he ain't
Brother
gonna live
Riggs.
a long, fulfilling life.
Hang on a second, Chris. Brother Riggs, do you want to come on the show?
Riggs.
Riggs, we'd love to have you, man. We like you.
Well, pop the link.
He says no.
Okay. Well, not everybody hates you, Riggs. You're a good guy.
Black sheep or not.
Welcome, Mile High Ronin. Oh, you're working right now, Riggs? Shit, that's too bad.
Paladina 2 cents there. Even in my country of Trinidad, our own prime minister has only a geologist degree as a graduate to back him up to be a prime minister. Good old Ukraine as well, if I can recall, was an actor. So there's pretty much a very low bar to ever get in office.
We've had actors as presidents of the United States. Abraham Lincoln didn't have a degree at all. He taught himself how to be a lawyer.
I guess. But at least they worked towards the position that they were given, right? Responsibility and all that. Not just puppets with a hand up your butt reading cue cards.
Yeah, poor Biden.
Did you see that where they had that? They zoomed in on that cue card that he was handed.
Yeah, that was last week's big meme.
Holy crap! It was like they almost had to say breathe. Okay, exhale.
That was the only thing that wasn't on that list for him to do. Oh my God!
Get that man I team.
Yeah, it's pretty sad when, like Cuban said, it's either somebody's got their hand all the way up to their elbow up his ass running his mouth, or he's got some strings attached to him that they block out with the green screen because he cannot handle himself. It's amazing. And then all this stuff with Hunter Biden. Did you hear about that phone call, that message that supposedly got leaked off of Hunter's laptop? And they were talking about Biden was calling him and leaving a message on his phone. And it was about, I'm tomorrow a New York Times story comes out and everything looks good for you. It looks like you're going to be in the clear. Give me a call. Love you. And that was in 2018, I think. And it was about the Chinese business dealings with that Chinese energy corporation that had put him on a board also, and was paying him a ton of money for someone that wasn't qualified to get lunch for the people in the upper office.
See,
So he
I
knew.
don't find that. At least the leaks come out, so it's proven to be true. But the thing is that people are slowly getting aware that media is playing interference. I mean, if all this came out during the time for Biden to get elected, no way in heck, well, we in hell now, that you would end up in this position that we're in. Or maybe I'm reading the tea leaves wrong.
No, he had a lot of help.
Yeah, they had all kinds of cover from the media and the FBI and the Justice Department
And the IRS.
Oh boy.
But before Trump got in and they were doing the Tea Party thing, that Lois Lerner, she was basically a hit man from the IRS trying to shut down all the political opponents. So it's like every government agency is weaponized now.
Yeah. Declassified doesn't come soon enough. How long does it take? What, 50 years for something to get declassified?
Depends.
Pfizer wanted 75 years on their on the results of their jab.
Amazing.
Yeah, they were asking for, what is it, 75 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll all be dead because we were waiting for those results, but fortunately that got struck down in court. But they sure are slow walking everything. Rand Paul asked Fauci. I seen a deal today. Rand Paul asked Fauci that is there any medical evidence to prove that vaccinating a child from 6 months to 5 years, is there any medical evidence that it will keep them out of a hospital or help them? And Fauci said no. And then he goes, then why is the government pushing it so hard? And old Fauci just stood there like a dumbass. It's because they want to make billions more dollars. That's why.
Yep. Ain't no money in cure, just treatment.
Exactly. Oh, remember Biden promised before he was elected that within 6 months of his presidency, he would have the cure for cancer. That was one of his campaign promises.
I have conspiracy on that in mind, but yeah, if they have a cure, they ain't going to give it up. I mean, look, they give you an AIDS cocktail rather than give you any kind of cure either. Again, more money, more profit to be made. But
there's a lot of...
I would just say the other aspect to the jab, I would think, is that anybody that survives the jab to wait 75 years, they're probably not going to like the answers anyway. So they'll be like, what, 6 feet under?
I haven't done any research on what's the... has anybody seen anything on this sudden adult death syndrome that's knocking people down?
I actually have a half-baked thoughts on that. Isn't the same thing going on with whole farms of cattle and chickens and ducks?
Yeah, just magically they just dropped it.
Hey, D-Man, I saw that. D-Man brought up the 50 illegal immigrants in a semi-trailer with no air conditioning.
That was down in Texas, right?
Yeah, that died.
Did they abandon the truck, or were they still rolling and they just got pulled over and everybody was deceased in the back of the truck?
They abandoned the truck.
And left them locked in there?
Well, they went to go check on them, and they were all dead. So they just abandoned the truck.
I recall seeing a small, not an op-ed, but in the daily newspaper a couple days ago, Johannesburg. There was a same incident like that, a whole party of people, let me say about 40 head, maybe 20. Yeah, same way. No clue, no obvious evidence of death. They just all just lay down. It's affecting anywhere, including the Caribbean. Like, it's going crazy, man. I don't know if maybe they're experimenting with radioactive, I don't know, rod of God, hand of God. What was it? I don't know. I've got crazy crackpot ideas in mind.
Well, to think that people are experimenting with, weapons of mass destruction is not out of character for any government. The United States conducted experiments on its own people. So has Great Britain. So has the former Soviet Union. And I imagine if you look hard enough and long enough, you'll find that almost every government has done something like that.
And my mom, where I grew up in Eastern Washington, we were basically downwind from the Hanford Nuclear Reservation. And it came out many years ago that when my mom was
the nuclear casino.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a nuclear reservation like in those terms, Brandon. No slot machines. But they found out years and years ago that in the 50s they used to put radioactive isotopes in the kids' milk, in the school milk, and they were trying to see what the effects of that low dose radiation would have on them. And where I'm originally from in Eastern Washington has one of the highest MS rates in the country. And it's unexplained, but like I said, we're east of the Hanford Nuclear Reservation, where they have thousands of tons of nuclear waste buried on site. And it's amazing how, the sickness and stuff of people coming up like that. Like I said, the MS rate is extremely high, and I think they even are pretty high in the dementia and stuff like that too. So I would think that that would probably be an environmental cause or had help, in my opinion.
Asbestos, it's all biological warfare, man.
Well, asbestos is all natural, and so is lead.
Well, so is the common cold, but they weaponized that too, didn't they?
It's just when we fuck with it, it gets fucking nasty.
There we go, biological weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a huge asbestos in western Montana,
Ontario as well.
Yeah, it's not whitefish. What is it? Oh man, I can't remember the name right now. But that whole town is surrounded by natural asbestos, and I'll have to think of it. It's in northwestern Montana, up towards Libby, Montana.
Okay.
I guess has an extremely high amount of asbestos.
I forgot, what was our topic again tonight?
Well, we went off in the reeds, but
chicken fingers.
I saw chicken.
Well, the topic was external validation.
Okay, let's talk about that.
What is
good
it?
idea?
I'm even guilty of it sometimes. Like when you're a little kid, you want your mom or your dad or your teacher to tell you, "Good job."
Ooh.
It makes you feel good. And when we get older, some people would like to have that from their wives or their girlfriends, or just their friends from time to time. But as a MGTOW, when our philosophy says to, take care of yourself for yourself, don't do it for anybody else. Do we really need the external validation? Or do we get it from each other by telling each other how independent we are?
I think that's mostly, if we do need it, that's where we get it. I think you hit the nail right on the head there. To a point, we don't need it at all. But when we do get it, it's generally from each other.
I think it's more of a byproduct of us interacting as opposed to us seeking it.
That too.
Yo, what up, guys?
Is that the fucking hermit guy? Oh my god, it is him.
Yeah, it's that goddamn hermit guy.
Is that an island or is that an evil? I can't quite tell.
It's
But,
an evil emoji.
Yeah, I figured I'd call in for a minute. I haven't been doing no live streams or nothing lately because, for one, I've been busy and I fucked my tooth up. I got to go get a fucking root canal on Tuesday, and I'm not looking forward to it. I'm on fucking steroids and not the good kind, and fucking what else? All sorts of fucking shit, just so I don't want to blow my head off from the pain. So
Thoradol is generally one of the most widely used types of medication for tooth pain, because it's not like other pain.
If you want a Caribbean old remedy, was to take a single grain of garlic and stuff it up there in that region. Basically it deadens the gums, so you wouldn't feel any pain, but yeah, you kind of deaden the gum. Grandma's best saying.
Oh yeah, grandma knows best for sure. But anyways, what the fuck is the other thing? I'm having a brain fart right now. Fucking antibiotics, steroids, and fucking a Motrin 800s, just so I don't want to blow my head off. And then, so I haven't even been in the gym this week, dude. I just want to die.
Is it? Is it an abscess tooth, hermit?
No, just a long time ago, I broke a tooth in the back, and then I just put it off, and now it got infected. So
I would actually, if I were you, you're prepping to go to Hawaii, I would probably get that tooth pulled and maybe a couple up in the front of your grill so you'll blend in with all them meth heads running around in Hawaii.
No, the dentist said that I got I got decent teeth. I just got one fucked up in the back, but just a fucking annoying process. But I came up with an idea of how I can possibly make money in Hawaii, because I've been brainstorming of different ideas and shit.
Selling organs.
Oh yeah, murder some hookers, sell their organs. No, I was thinking about fucking banana chips, because bananas I can grow. They're one of the best growing fruits in Hawaii, and I can grow a fuck ton of them. And then I did the research on how to make banana chips, because if I were just try to ship the bananas, they'd probably go bad, and I just wouldn't really have luck. But when you make banana chips, they last longer, and you can bag them up. And True. I'm like, fuck, dude, that could be something worth looking into.
Maybe also check the expiry dates for how long they last after they get fried.
I checked that they last a while. If they're packaged good, they can last a very long time.
If they're dehydrated and then vacuum sealed, they'll last a long time.
Well, make sure you get fire insurance.
Sugar will preserve them as well.
Yeah, you could even add them to a survival kit. Who knows? That could be Tinder.
Well, all of the food processing plants are getting burned, so you better get good fire insurance.
They're gonna fly a plane into where I'm fucking doing this shit at.
Yeah, they might.
They might.
we had a fire at 4:15 this morning. My phone goes off, and it was a notification from the city, and then a text message. So I had a voicemail, a text message saying that there was a very large structure fire at this intersection, which is a main intersection in town. Do not approach because the fire department and the police department are battling this fire. Well, this fire started at like 3 a.m. and it is in a car and repair place that does tires, and the whole big warehouse area that they store all their tires went up. They're still putting water on it right now, and this has been since 3 o'clock this morning. It's 8:45 at night where I'm at.
Yeah,
They
here's
have been
one.
hitting that fire for dang near. Well, we're working on 18 hours.
Hope those guys are on respirators.
Yeah.
Burning tires.
Here's
they've
one
had the
thing
ladder
that
truck.
you guys don't know is I almost actually became a firefighter. I used to want to be a fireman ever since I was a kid, and then yeah, I got old enough. I kind of fucked up, went to prison. My record's clean. I was thinking about doing it when I got out, but firemen, they really don't get paid enough money to deal with the bullshit they go through. Like, I know a lot of it, they get a lot of downtime unless something actually happens, but I don't know, they just don't get paid that good.
And maybe
Well, when I
see
got to
too
work
much
this morning, that plume of smoke, I was about 6 blocks away from it driving by, and then I went the roundabout way to go to work, and that plume of smoke had come up and went probably 7 miles to the south, and then it went probably 5 miles to the west, which is very unusual. We always have west winds, and this was blowing from the north going northeast going southwest. But yeah, it wasn't bad because it was up high. Well, where I work is only 2 city blocks away from this place, and that wind shifted today and socked in our work area, and that burning tires. I was like, man, I got to get the hell out of here.
Oh, shit.
I remember one time outside my condo, a van got caught on fire. It was like a Saturday morning, and I'm fucking just chilling, drinking coffee, and I hear a bunch of people freaking out outside, and then I'm like, I start hearing fire, and I'm like, God damn it, the fucking building is on fire, and I'm starting to freak out because, I own my condo, and then I just go outside, and I'm like, oh, just some single mother's van is on fire, thank God. I just my car was like 2 spots down, and I just moved it, and then went back inside.
Oh yeah.
Her kid probably stuck a toy in the 12-volt outlet.
I forget the reason. It was some kind of like electricity problem, and just the fucking thing caught. But I remember her talking to the fireman, and she's like, "My babies could have been in there."
No.
I'm just trying not to laugh.
That was my first job, actually, was forestry firefighting. So
maybe
fun.
I watch too much TV, but last I checked, firefighters don't really have long than experienced careers. Like what, 10 years maybe?
Oh, no.
Well, a lot of firemen, they don't make a lot of money. That's why, like, I know firemen where they like own bars or they own like restaurants just to like, have some more money coming in.
Some of them have to have a side hustle.
Yep.
Most of the ones we only have in my town, I'm in about 8,500 people, and 95% of our fire department is volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys ever notice that a lot of firemen, they either own bars or restaurants? By me anyways, a lot of them do.
Kind of like cops. Retired cops. Look what retired cops buy.
What do they buy? I'm not familiar with
Bars.
it. Bars?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's like what Polska was
that.
talking about the other night. They went to a bar, or he goes to a bar that he said has got active duty cops. You know, they get off work and it's kind of like a hangout for them because they don't like going out and drinking in just any old random bar where somebody might recognize them and pop them when they walk out the door. So they like to hang in get their own little club going, you know.
I don't know why anybody wants to be a cop today. Like, if you are a cop today and you do your job and God forbid you have to fucking shoot a black person, your life is over. You're going to prison. So at the music festival that I was working at, they were trying to clear the air. Well, they had the area clear because they're setting up the fireworks, and this fucking crazy black bitch wouldn't move. And the guys are like, yeah, we're trying to set up fireworks. You have to leave this perimeter. And she just like turned into a black Karen and started getting all ghetto. And they had to call the cops on her. And she's like calling the cops pigs to their face and like threatening them and saying this is racist. And it's like, dude, and you could tell these cops were terrified. They were like, would not touch her because they know how that could.
They should have had
because
a
if this
black
bitch starts
female
fighting back
officer go
and
in
they
there
have to do their job, they're going to prison forever.
Yeah, they should have had a black female go in there and hook her up so she can't say anything. They'd still say it.
Well, I wonder how many cops just like if I was a cop today, I would just never pull over black people.
Yeah, that's not a good thing, though, is it? Dude, we've already seen courts that wouldn't convict because they were black. Guilty as hell, but because they were black, they wouldn't convict them.
I'm just saying I wouldn't pull them over because, God forbid, one of them is a piece of shit criminal and decides to do some shady shit, and then I gotta shoot him, and then I'm fucking the next Derek Chauvin. Like, no, fuck that. Oh my God, this racist island hermit cop done put his knee on Tyrone's neck.
He was a good boy. He never hurts nobody. But you pig.
Yeah. Hey, I've got a question. This could segue into what our original topic was. Do you think the career fields that people take are for external validation?
Sometimes.
Say police officer.
Yeah, definitely. Those are for people with low self-esteem.
Yeah, I actually went to college I wanted to be a state trooper, and I'm glad I didn't. I didn't make it all the way through college because I had some family issues and that came up, and a grandmother that was dying in the hospital. So I had to pick something, and it was either work to eat, go to school, or go see my dying grandmother for 4 months in intensive care. So school was the one that suffered. So, and I don't regret that. I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah, you made the right choice.
So, and it's ironic that I was going to school to be a cop, and one of my best friends was going to school to be a diesel mechanic. He's now a chief of police of a small town, very small town, and I work on choo-choos.
Yeah,
how life throws a curveball at you.
I work in a machine shop, and then I do personal training on the weekends, but it's like a unique scenario. I don't get paid to do it. Basically, my payment is my membership. So like my dad is friends with the owner, and I've been going there for a while, and they just see like, yeah, you're in shape, you know what you're doing, blah blah blah. Would you like to help out at the gym? So we kind of like arranged a deal. So I haven't paid for a gym membership in probably 8 years.
Sorry.
What?
Landlord's going by with the tractor.
Well, that's good though that you could work a deal out that, you know, like that, Hermit.
Yeah, and plus I don't mind helping guys. You know, it's normally anywhere between 1 to 3 clients on the weekends. Normally just come in, I don't know, between 9 and 2, something like that. Sometimes it'll be a little different, but yeah, it's not bad. Get to help some people, and I get a free gym membership out of the deal. So
Can you guys hear explosions off of my phone?
No.
Oh, we got some knuckleheads over here. It's amazing. It amazes me that people on welfare, they can't afford to put shoes on their kids' feet, feed them well, and put good clothes on their back, but the fuckers can buy $1,000 worth of fireworks every 4th of July.
Yeah, we got the same thing going on here.
Oh, I outside here within 100 yards of my apartment right now. There's somebody touching these freaking cannon shells off as loud as shit.
Priorities,
or
buddy.
another
you
thing
guys
is
could
these
hear it.
guys on welfare, they have a bunch of kids, and then they're buying hundreds of dollars on weed every week, and it's like, dude, you're on fucking welfare, you're getting fucking food from the government and all this shit, and you're buying like hundreds of dollars of weed every week. Come on now.
Well,
Well,
it's gonna collapse very
Did you
soon.
guys
It's gonna
see that?
collapse.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Cuby.
Oh no, I was just saying it's gonna collapse very soon. So all that comfort food, all that bills being paid by the government, it ain't gonna last forever. So
Yeah, and that's when you're going to see the savages come out.
I'm just
Yeah.
sick of waiting. How much longer do we got for this fucking ship to go down?
Oh, pretty quick. I'm going to start my campaign probably before the year's out. So that's one thing.
I
Vote
think
for
we got
Mitchell.
I think we got about 2 years left, but it's hard to tell, you know what I mean?
You give it that
I
long?
personally think that there's going to be a
That's
very
max
large
2
civil
years.
unrest before 2 years' time. You better get your butt to Hawaii as soon as you can.
And I'm trying to. Like I said, I got the land. I'm just like saving up a nest egg now. That way I don't have to go over there and then suck dicks at the port because I ain't got no money. So,
Well, sucking dick at sport might be what you're doing.
well, they don't have truck stops over there. So,
yeah,
Well,
long
instead
haul
of getting,
truckers are a big thing over there, Hermit.
yeah,
well, Hermit,
yeah.
instead of getting the one tooth pulled, you should get them all pulled so you can give gum jobs.
yeah, that way I can
But
charge
yeah.
extra. Good thinking.
Yeah.
You can gnaw the hell out of them bananas too.
Blue.
But yeah, dude, get this. So like I have fucking dental insurance. With my dental insurance, it's still gonna cost like $500 to get that fucking
Yeah,
root
dental
canal done.
insurance sucks.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It'd be
500.
cheaper to get your tooth pulled. Is it a molar in the back?
Well, it's not getting pulled. It's getting fucking
Right. It would be cheaper to pull your tooth than to carve a
yeah.
hole in it and pull your nerves out.
Yeah.
Painful.
Well, I'm just gonna I'd rather just keep it. Fuck it.
Well, if there wasn't a war in Russia going on right now, I'd say go to Ukraine. You know, I got all kinds of dental work done while I was there. It's so cheap.
He paid for it in vodka.
You practically could. But the most I ever spent on, like I had a root canal done over there. It cost me 300 grimas.
What the hell is that?
A grima is their dollar, and it's like 27 grimas to the dollar.
Dang.
So if you just took that down to, 25 grimas, it's basically every 100 grimas $4. I spent 300, so I spent $12 for a root canal.
You guys
Wasn't it-
notice an influx of Ukraine women where you live at all? At a restaurant by my house, there is a fucking one of the waitresses there is from the Ukraine, and somebody like brought up the Ukraine and she started crying and shit. But she's like fresh from the Ukraine.
I've noticed we don't have any immigrants in my town that I know of, but we have truckers come in daily. We have several semis come in with different supplies for the railroad and the small side by side Kubota. And I'm out getting ready to run my errands and go check for machines and see if anything's broke down. And I see the semi pull up in front of me, and that dude slams on the brakes, sets the air, jumps out, and he looked like one of the Pakistanis, like the UFC fighters. He had the black beard, no mustache, real short black hair. He had almost Asian features, but you could tell that he was from one of the stands over there. And he comes up and he's got a bill of lading in his hand, and he's like, "Oh, excuse me, sir." And I'm like, "Oh man, I got caught," because I stopped. So I'm trying to explain to him, go around this building. There's a bunch of bays that you can back up in, Well, it turns out he tells me he has pallets. Well, he had freaking pallets of stuff for track gangs, like switches and crossovers and all this other stuff. He had all these parts. So, but yeah, where I've noticed an extremely large amount of, they're either African or I don't know if specifically Ukraine, but Russian or over that in that general vicinity. And it amazes me that people can drive an 80,000 pound rig across the United States of America without speaking any English.
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
It blows me away. But Hermit, that's where I see it, is in interstate commerce and trucking, because most of the people we have are either from Nigeria, a lot of Nigerians, some West Africans, but
I used to work out with a dude,
or in Ukraine or that general region.
I used to work out with a dude from Nigeria. Me and him became pretty cool. I haven't seen him in a while, but anyways, he was like short, jacked little dude. It's just crazy to me how so these black people, they come over from Nigeria, from these other countries, and they actually he worked for Chrysler. They don't fucking, they're not like the not all black people, but a lot of these black people here fucking crying that they're oppressed in the system. And it's like, dude, this guy probably fucking went from living in a mud hut, now he's working at Chrysler and made something of himself, and they just don't get it. This is the best country in the world, where you can come from a fucking dirt hole, shithole country and then fucking make something of yourself.
If you want a real, well, and you're up by the Detroit area, right, Hermit?
Yeah.
Okay. You know this, but for anybody that's in the chat or in the stream, go to Minneapolis or St. Paul, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many Somalians that there's neighborhoods that are little Somalia.
Yep.
Well, that's where Ilhan Omar's from.
What's that?
That's where Ilhan Omar's from.
How are the Somalians? Are they like the Nigerians that come over, or no?
Well, they're different. Somalia is on the opposite side of the country. It's a desert.
It's on the coast.
And it's an absolute fucking shithole. It's across the
no, but what do I mean is do they come over here and work hard? Like the few guys that I've met from Nigeria, they came over here with nothing and worked hard and actually made something of themselves, and they don't bitch and cry and complain like the black people different. In America.
They're completely different. The Somalians are fucking refugees.
We have quite a few large meat packing plants in Nebraska, and historically, they were Hispanic. The people that worked there were usually migrants or undocumented, whatever. And one of the ones in the central part of the state, they basically got rid of all the Hispanics because ICE comes in, pops everybody. But now it's Somalians. and they had to put up a room, and they had to do their prayers. And that was one of their deals there. They were like, well, no, we're going to do this at this time and this time and this time and this time. There ain't nothing you can do about it. So that, the plant just basically shuts down several times a day, so that the Muslim side of it, or the
Yeah, I was gonna
Islamic
just ask,
side
are
of
they
it.
Muslim? But yeah, they are.
Yeah, I believe Somalia is a Muslim country, if I'm not mistaken, Brandon.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So yeah, so they went from the foreman and the plant manager saying, okay, this is what time your lunch is and everything, to they're like, no, we're going to do this, and the rugs come out and they do their daily thing. But yeah, when I was in Minneapolis, I got into the wrong side of town, and that's what I was still married at the time. And I said, you realize where we're at? And she goes, no. I said, that store right there that has all the barred windows says Little Mogadishu Market. And she goes, what's that mean? I said, we're in Little Somalia. I said, you see all the guys walking around with flat hats wearing dresses? Yeah. I said, those are all Somalians that we're in their neighborhood, and we're the, pasty white people in that neighborhood. You stood out a lot. And I was like, you see the building right there? And there's a very large apartment building right there in that area. And this is, I think, southeast Minneapolis, because not St. Joseph. What's the next one
Oh,
next to it?
St. Paul.
St. Paul. St. Paul was real close, that area. But this whole building had balconies. It was a skyscraper apartment building, and I kept looking at it, and I said, man, something just looks different. I kept looking at it, and then I realized, I got on the phone and looked up the Somali flag. Somebody had painted like 50 of these terraces. They're outside terraces you could sit on. They painted them, and it was a Somali flag on the whole building, side of the building.
Cool.
And I looked at her and I says, we need to get out of this neighborhood.
Are you afraid you're gonna get robbed?
Well, there was people definitely looking at me. I only had a 5-shot 38 in my pocket, and I said, man,
One of the scariest neighborhoods that I got lost in Detroit was 7 Mile and Chalmers. 7 Mile and Chalmers is fucking scary. I remember I was like coming back from somewhere. I had to go somewhere at 8 Mile, and I fucking got lost in a car that broke down all the time. And I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. 7 Mile and Chalmers is one of them neighborhoods where you don't stop at the red light. You go through it, because if you stop, you're getting robbed.
I was doing that in Independence, Missouri. I ran every freaking red light they had. It was like 2 a.m, and we were in the wrong part of town. And my buddy says, don't even stop. If it's clear, you punch it. Don't stop for any red lights.
You'll legit get robbed.
Yeah. So, hey, Cubing, I have a question. I've seen quite a few videos of people in Trinidad, in your stomping grounds, where is there still a fairly high crime rate there? Is there a lot of violent crime going on there?
I could give you a political answer. I could give you reality. Which do you prefer?
Well, let's go reality.
Nothing has changed from square one. We've always been a third world country aspiring to better. But yeah, we basically sold off a lot of our natural resources to the Chinese.
No.
We have a pitch lake, La Brea, and yeah, they are basically going to be forfeits for lease for 100 years. Because, we ain't going to be able to pay back that when we're already in deficit with the IMF and the other organizations. We are a little small country, but, very small country. But at the end of the day, yeah, the crime rate, nothing has changed. As what you were describing there, the traffic lights, basically what the tendency for aspiring robbers to do is to throw rocks down. long as a busted windshield or light gets gone, yeah, somebody's gonna pull off on the side of the road. Another good scam is for a Venezuelan sexy woman to stand by the side of the road with for all appearances, a broken down car. And yeah, any man who gets caught in that honey trap, well, I have to admit, he kind of deserves it. But yeah, the crime is pretty terrible. And despite any spin, you just have to really look between the lines, and you could see nothing has changed.
What is your country's policy on firearms? Can you own personal firearms?
Yeah, but for the most part, you have to have a business. Otherwise, they would be pretty skeptical about just issuing them to any private citizen.
So you have to be able to prove that you carry a large bankroll or have funds that could be robbed and taken from you, so you need a gun.
Yeah, I more look at it at the corruption index. We are pretty high up, maybe up in the top 20 in the world. And yeah, everybody's hands gets greased at some point. So you kind of need to have a business to pay someone to get a legal gun in this country.
Well, I feel for you in your situation. You know, sometimes you can't help where you live or where you're born. I feel fortunate that I was born in the country that I was born in, but I feel for you, my brother.
Cummings
Yeah,
speed. What's the natural resource that the Chinese are going after?
the pitch lakes, tar, petroleum.
That's what I thought. Your natural, they're
Natural
going
gas?
after your natural gas.
I would say though, don't feel too bad. I mean, I'm immensely grateful for what I have as well. I will admit though it could have been better, but it could have been a lot worse too. So at least I'm sane enough, and yeah, I'm able to hold my head above water. That's the most important thing.
And you get to talk to us, and I appreciate that.
And this just shows you MGTOW is worldwide.
Yes.
True that.
How did you find MGTOW?
I have a black friend.
Your
Oh, is Mitchell gonna call you racist now? That's where you come in, Chris.
You racist.
What was your black friend like? Hey, you want to see
Well-
something cool? And you're like, what? Thought he was gonna show you some drugs.
Well, yeah.
No,
While
like
in
how,
university, I made a good black friend. And what happens was I visit him from time to time, and we may take in a flick, or for that matter, we might just chillax and watch a few videos, shorts and such. But many an
Wait,
occasion, he might put on some.
Is your black friend from America or no?
Oh no, he's Trinidad born as well. But what I was getting to is that we sometimes just put on YouTube clips or some such, and we end up having little discussions on it. So a lot of the time, so we have no choice but to admit to ourselves is like some of the stuff is whack. I mean, women are so freaking delusional, man. But more to the point, I have another black friend, plug, shameless plug. And yeah, he is more of a white persuasion, you know, like a Oreo or something. He's very polite. I'll say it like that. And while one is very much in tune with the zeitgeist, the other is very much out there. He's like alien, you know. So me now, I'm able to see between both sides. You know, one side very ghetto, one side very white, and in between there, I found MGTOW. So yeah, it is what it is.
So, how are the women where you're from? They're pretty bad or what?
Very bad, very domineering, very loud. As a friend says, very ratchet, very ghetto.
Well, it's nice to see that we're not the only country that has ratchets.
Yeah.
Yep, female universal nature. Or is it female?
Yep. Female nature is the same everywhere. Just certain countries keep their pimp hand stronger than other countries.
Yeah, accountability does that.
Cubing, do you have the single mother epidemic in Trinidad? like about everywhere else?
It's worse. I would say it's like a profession for some women in this country. They basically hunt for different men to have babies with. And during making one child, they're having sex with multiple men. So when that child is born, they could go to that set of guys to get child custody. Well, no, sorry, child support. So from one baby, she gets like 6 or 7 different streams of income, and then multiply that by multiple babies. Dude, it's insane. It's like the calling for women in this country. Making
Do
babies.
you not
fucking
have DNA, a court where you could take someone to court and have DNA tests done on them, or is that just so prohibitively expensive in your area?
There is no precedence against. There's a lot of well, the biggest problem I would say is it's financing. Not everyone has the cash to pay for gene comparisons and fertility tests and such. But I do realize of a lot of international, or I should say United States law. It's just a matter of time before that reflects back down in us, sorry, on us in the Caribbean. I would say that you could see it very evident in when our natives go across to the US, they come back with what we call a Yankee accent. So, we copy a lot of the states. And when it comes to the laws, we're going to pretty much copy the Americans as well. So,
Yeah, America spreads feminism across the world like a cancer, and it's fucking destroying everything. And I personally know single mothers that have like 7 kids. They don't work real jobs, and they just get money from each. This one girl I was talking to on Tinder like a long ass time ago before I even found the red pill, she was like, I got 7 kids with 7 different guys, and I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I'm not doing this. But I seen the picture. She had a fucking kid of every shade of race there was.
Yeah.
And like it was just sickening to me. Like she didn't have to work a job. She got money from the state. She got money from each one of her fucking baby daddies.
Yeah.
And it's like
Think
this
about
is fucking sickening.
if she was getting 700 a month from each kid, there's 4,900 a month. Plus she's getting 1,200 a month in food stamps.
Dude,
Yeah, she makes more money than a guy that busts his ass working hard every day. And she just had to open her legs and be a 304.
There was a chick that did a TikTok explaining how she does the finances.
Yeah, I seen that video.
Child support and having different baby daddies.
Well, I just got a drive-by from the police, and they apparently recognize me now, and they didn't even stop.
They're watching.
Did they just wave and go on?
They didn't wave. They just drove past. It was like, oh, it's that guy again.
Yeah.
Well, I would say before
some Karens complained again.
There's another policeman. I'm sitting in a different place. Today it was Taco Tuesday at La Mama Bear restaurant.
Tacos.
And it's a Mexican restaurant, but her name is Mama Bear, and Mama Bear cooks some good fucking Mexican food.
Nice. Speaking of Tinder, guys, I've been talking about this a little bit with a few of the guys, kind of like backstage here and there. But yeah, we're gonna do a stream here pretty quick, maybe tomorrow night, if not, maybe Saturday night. And we are going to redo my Tinder bio because I don't give a fuck, right? I don't use it. But we're going to make it as offensive as possible, and we have 500 characters to do it in. So
I did that once.
We can't say no fat chicks, but we can say like no BBWs.
I said no single mothers one time, and I had a bunch of women freaking out on me.
Well, that's just it. That's what I want to do. I am going to try to put. I want to get together with you guys and put as many fucking very short listed things and terms.
Well, you better say something like height must be proportional to weight.
No, I was just gonna say like can't outweigh me. Like no BBWs can't outweigh me.
You're gonna get so many hate messages. All I did one time was put no single mothers because I was sick of matching with all these fucking single mothers. And oh my god, man, did I get so many fucking hate messages from these bitches.
Did
Yes.
you guys
More
see
what I want.
pics from
Plenty of Fish?
Scotty.
Did you see Hammerhand's video where he did that on Plenty of Fish, and he claimed to be an ex-con that had just got out of prison for murder?
For murder,
No,
yeah.
did he just do this video or is it an old one?
He just did it
did
about a week
last week.
ago.
Yeah, he put a picture of this real jacked freaking bald guy, and he put in there that he just got out of prison. He was unfortunately involved with the he didn't say murder, but he said the ending of a life or something like that. And you wouldn't believe all these women that were clicking on
believe it.
that thing.
I
Oh
seen
my
a video.
God.
I don't know who originally did the video, but it's a Gundam went over it, and somebody they picked a fucking dating profile. They picked an unbelievably attractive guy, and they said that they were a sex offender, and they fucking like did shit with children, and women were still trying to fuck him because he
God.
looks like an in shape jacked dude that all the girls wanted.
Yeah, I believe it was Vice. That was actually
Yeah, I seen
like
I
like
seen
a
it on
show.
It's a Gundam's channel. He was talking about it, but I forget where he pulled the story from. It was probably Vice. But yeah, it just shows you like if you look good, you're jacked, and you fucking get their panties fucking all wet. It doesn't matter. You can be a sex offender. You can be the worst piece of shit human there is.
Yep.
Look at all
Yeah, there's lots of those.
These women that freaking write serial killers in prison. These guys mutilated and cut women up, and they still go after them.
Yeah.
Well, Manson was married twice.
Well, fuck, when
Who
I
was
was in
Manson?
prison, I banged one of the fucking guards, and I had a relationship with her for a little bit after I got out.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
that's just because you wanted more candy bars, Hermit, and access
No.
to another roll of toilet paper.
She actually didn't live that far from me.
That's
She was like 30. She was like 30 minutes away from me. So we were like hanging out we like hooked up for like 6 months after, and then I started thinking, how many other dudes did you do this with? And then I stopped talking to her.
All
I got
for a
lot
couple
of
noodles,
Tyrone
too.
Swong in
Yeah.
there.
It's all for.
That's
How are you
Eskimo
doing,
brothers, right?
sleeping while standing?
What's that? Oh, hey, we lost Chris. I was going to
He's
actually ask
back.
him a question.
Oh, I'm back. Wait.
Pooping.
Hey, Chris.
Pooping.
Yep.
So this latest arrest for mischief. I don't know what her role is in the Canadian government, but the bullshit that has come down to arrest her because she's causing mischief. I don't know how people in Canada cannot look at that and go, that seems a little bit tyrant from Trudeau to say, yeah, we don't really have cause, but we're going to arrest you because we don't trust you.
Oh,
And I
you
can't
mean the
remember
fucking the convoy chick?
Yes.
Yeah,
I can't. I
she
was gonna
has been
say,
arrested for the second time for nothing. Yep. Totally legitimate government, guys. Totally legitimate. I don't know where you guys got the idea that it wasn't, but be crazy.
Hey, Brandon, True Blood, you could probably take on more callers. I've seen one past back in the chat.
Well, so I've got to drop somebody because I've got the free plan.
Well,
You want
Uh,
I should drop out? I ain't really
I
contributing
drop
anything.
out. I gotta start getting ready for bed anyway. I gotta get up
All right.
at 5 a.m.
Later, Hermit.
Just figured I'd
Later,
come
Albert.
on and bullshit with you guys for a minute. All
Yep,
right, see you
I'm a
guys.
guy too. I'll see you guys later too.
All right, brother.
Cuban,
Bye-bye,
it was
Cubby.
good talking to you.
Come again?
It was good talking to you, brother. I see
Oh.
your comments all over the place. You usually beat me to a comment, and that kind of pisses me off. But I'll deal with it. I'm okay with it.
Okay, that's fine. That's cool. It was great talking to you all as well. I'll be more
All right.
visible as well.
It was
Later.
great talking to you. Thanks for calling in.
All right,
Later.
Dak. They were telling me you wanted on, Dak. So I have dropped the link again. One fast Dak.
I mean, first, I love the fact that MGTOW is going international. I mean, it's been there for a while, but we got more brothers. Got a buddy of mine over in Turkey, and he said it's no better over there, and they definitely have more of a patriarchal type perspective of family relationships. And even he is saying it is just out of control.
Yeah.
These, but at least over there, he's got some relatively fit women compared to what we have here in North America.
Well, dude, that's why I'm all for fucking getting as much hate mail around here as possible, because the girls around here that are on Tinder make ditch pigs look good.
And the Turkish women are not good-looking women. I've been to Turkey several times, and there's maybe they're just not good-looking women. When they hit about 25, 26, all of them's butt gets big.
Not in a good way.
Not in a good way. And
It's like the smuggling turkeys.
most of them have the unibrow.
There is that. There are a lot of hirsute women, but I mean, his photos that he's shown me of the one that he's dated, yeah, I mean, I think even by Western standards, they would be attractive, but the entire
I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying a lot of them are not
well,
good looking.
and I was going to say, like, maybe because like this guy is like ripped motorcycle club, don't know exactly his income persona. I would guesstimate he's definitely got to be in the top 10% of guys out there. Again, never visited the country, but this guy, like what he's shown me, who he's been with, and the girls that he's dated. But he's 23, and he's already kind of gotten to the point where it's just like, why do I bother? It's not worth it. Like, I know that in 2 or 3 years, if I give her my all, she's not gonna be there for me. And he knows that already. Like, he's a big fan of Rolo. In fact, that's how we met. He reached out. He's like, hey, I want to talk to you a little bit more about like Western perspective, understanding. And this guy is somebody that I think if he came to America and went to New York City, he probably could get the average woman. Now, for him, the average woman would not be palatable to him at all. It's
Istanbul is one of the great cities of the world. It's really a fantastic city. For the longest time, it was the center of the world.
Yep. Part of the Roman Empire. Yeah.
So, if y'all have a chance to go, it's not dangerous. The food is great. There's all kinds of shit to see. The Turkish people are really nice. And it's not expensive.
Yeah, for me personally, I've got one anchor here in the States. I'm not gonna. I've got enough where I could live modestly here in the States. If I went overseas, Southeast Asia, $2,000 to $3,000, you could live very, very well. Istanbul, you could probably do that in $1,500 to $1,800 easily. But I've got a dog. I've got a contract for a service organization that not really. I love my dog, but at the same time too, it's like how much longer do I want to stay here, knowing what's going to happen with our midterms? I just and then part of that is how are we going to respond back to the pandemic that's going to come back out again? I have no doubt about it. So it's like, how much do you prep versus plan, prepare, enjoy? That's where I'm at. Like personally, like I don't, I'm not a multi-millionaire, but I just, this is where I'm just like conflicted every day going, the stock market goes up, I make money, or and then stock market goes down, I lose. And then I'm thinking, I've got 35 years that at least that I need to plan. And if what I think is going to be coming down, I don't know if I want to be anywhere else except for Mexico or the US or Canada. I think it's going to get ugly. Very ugly.
Well, here is definitely not a place you want to be unless I'm emperor.
Well, yes, Lord Mitchell. Yeah, if you
No, emperor, no lord.
Oh.
I'm an emperor. You could be a
Lord
lord
Mitchell.
of finance, if play your cards right.
Look, I have a younger sister that she would be right up your alley if you can like put in a good word like you did for my brother Hunter. By the way, did you guys see that recent video that outlined the $100,000 transfer payment that Biden made to Hunter today? Well, it was outlined today, or discovered today, or released today. 30,000 of that was used for Russian hookers.
I don't dispute that at all.
Oh, you haven't seen that, Chris?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, go on to.
They haven't released anything that I've seen.
You can buy a lot of Russian hookers for $30K.
Well,
and this is only for 1 month.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, these are high class. I mean, there's video of him like that they, I guess, got from his laptop. This guy, and again, like everything is annotated because he has an Apple, so whether or not if it was on his phone, it gets transferred to whatever. I don't have an Apple, so I don't understand all that detail, but yeah, they captured that and they showed where he called Joe Biden and said, "Hey, I need $100,000. Can you transfer that to me?" Biden did, and then he used that to pay. Or this one hooker was $10,000. Don't know how many days it was, but he went through $30,000 worth of hooker services in a month in order to, I don't know. And
how much blow do you think you went through?
Well, I was going to say, I don't think it was all professional services. Yeah, definitely a lot of Parmesan cheese.
Yeah. He definitely was keeping the Parmesan out of the carpet.
Exactly, Mouth. Yeah. But, and this is what kills me is that, like, the normies around my neighborhood have no clue. Like, I was talking with them the other day, like, because I have my dog, and so unfortunately I have to. Oh, by the way, did I tell you guys, like, what's today? Tuesday? It was Sunday. It's going up to the pool. It was like 6 o'clock in the evening. Just wanted to go. It was hot as hell. Wanted to go, like, take a dip, just cool off, minding my own fucking business. And one of my neighbors that unfortunately is good pals with my own dog. And so, we have to let them kind of do their thing and hang out and have fun and play or whatever. And she kept looking at my I've got a Yeti, steel glass, insulated container for my beer. And she's like, "Carl, that is fucking disgusting." I'm like, I don't care. She's like, "No, you need to clean that." I'm like who cares? Like, I don't care. And the third time that she did it, I was done. I was like, you know what? Look, my body, my choice, right? Do you not agree with that? And she was like, well, of course. And I'm like, so then you're also in agreement with, the vaccine mandates are fucking bullshit, right? Oh, completely different. She went apoplectic and went fucking nuts. It was like, that is not the same. How dare you? You're trying to like minimize, a woman's choice and make it into your own fucking conservative bullshit. And I'm like, you know what? Emotions are a useful servant, but a terrible master. I was done. Like I cannot engage with women, Western women today. It is it is a landmine. And sorry, I've been drinking like Polska Bob. I've been drinking there. I was talking to some friends on Facebook. Um, just I can't deal with people that just they don't deal with rationality.
When people don't know how to mind their business.
Yeah,
No,
everybody's got
exactly.
Because people don't get punched in the mouth enough anymore.
Well, and I kept telling her, like, I don't care. Like, how does that affect you? She could not stop her fucking mouth and just let it go. Like, look, agreed to disagree. Let's just move on. Like, literally, like, I just wanted to go up and hang out, and it was, no, I need to make a point. I need for you to clean your glass. I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like, it doesn't affect you. I even told her though, like what? Like, it doesn't affect you. Why do you care? Like, shouldn't you be focused more on other things within your own realm? And it just never stopped. It was a constant beratement. And this is gross to me. You should clean that. And then when I brought up that, hey, you know what? It's my body, my choice, right? What do you think of that? And
She
then,
was looking for external validation of her ideas.
Ooh.
Right,
Absolutely.
Brandon?
Yep. She wanted to have control of the situation, and by controlling you, her value as a person would go up in her own eyes.
Oh, bingo. Yeah, I mean, like, literally negative attention is better than no attention. And, she's, I would guesstimate probably 41 to 43, fit. She runs every day. Why she doesn't have any man in her life. I mean, I can get it from her personality standpoint. She's not somebody that you would want to go out and have a beer or conversation with. She's just, I mean, her
Would
asshole
you
is
say
so
she's a
friggin'
feminist?
oh yeah. Oh no. Oh, here's the other thing too is that we were talking about. I don't know how this came out exactly, but I brought up the whole wage gap. Because she works in a major bank and probably one of the top 5 banks in the country. And I just said, because she brought up some bullshit about like women are paid less than men. I'm like, well, I mean, come on. I mean, you're a CPA, for God's sakes. Like, you understand like numbers and effects and lost cost opportunities. Why would any company just hire men or predominantly hire men if they could just hire predominantly women and save whatever you think that it is, 77 cents, 81% or 81 cents, 19 to 23% you could automatically save. Her response is, well, it's a good old boy network.
Bullshit.
Misogyny.
Bullshit.
And I was just like, you know what? I don't really even know how to, like, you obviously don't know how to run a business. You work for somebody else. I almost wanted to go into that PR firm for that woman that hired just other women, and she went bankrupt after 2 years. I almost wanted to go into that, but I'm like, you know what? She's not going to understand context. At that point, she was roiled.
How about the bridge down in Florida that was designed and built by women, and then it destroyed and killed a bunch of people?
Great point, Mouth. You're right. And if I told her that the reason why that engineering firm that built that was, you know, a MEB type business. She
She would have lost her mind.
Oh, I mean, she was literally shaking. Like after I went through that with her. I mean, I've not seen that reaction in person for years. Where when you challenge them, they don't know how to react. Like
they're used to people like, kowtowing down to them, bowing down.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is they're very used to that. They're very used to people just, yep, you're right, I'm wrong. Let's agree to disagree. Blah blah blah. Right?
No, 100%.
Next time, take a sip out of that dirty glass and then just look at her and go, "Ree," and then just walk away.
Well, and you know what? One thing I will say, I was on another channel. I don't know if it was Femsplaining or not, but she was like, no, actually, it was on Good Mothers. That's right. But she was, I think her name was Mara or Mira. Anyway, but she had a good point. She was like, "Why did you engage with her?"
Mira.
And you're right. I should have just said, you know what? Don't care, and just took a big swig and walked on.
That's the whole reason I don't let women on my channel. They don't even get in a chat. They get blocked.
Well, I mean, if there are ones that want to try and learn, they try and make it all about themselves.
You know, you can have that on your channel, but they're not going to be on mine. Fuck them. I don't need the drama in here.
No. I mean, I'm literally at the point where I don't want to deal. I mean, I've always been that one that would help out a good neighbor. Nowadays, with my experience, and not just like anecdotally one or two or three, if a female neighbor comes over and says, "I need help," like so what's in it for me? Like I was never at that point, and I'm you know, Brandon, I'm probably closer to your age. I don't know about Chris. Mouth, you're probably maybe 8
well, the
years
emperor
younger than
is
I
eternal.
am.
They say I'm a pup. Still wet.
I say you're eternal.
Chris is under
how old? Like 43?
Right. Am I 43?
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing, but I don't know.
39.
39. All right. So I have you guys beat by like 10 years. You know, and I was
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I'm 50.
Who, Mouth? Was that you?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm 50.
All right. We're like within a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 51.
Brandon's the old balls in this chat.
Yep, 55.
All right. So you've seen all the shit. Like you were raised in that society of which that, you know, if you've got a neighbor and she's like, "Oh, I need your help," or whatever, and we did it back then. Nowadays, I'd be like, "Nah," you know. Had a neighbor the other day ask me for jumper cables. Do you have jumper cables? I'm like, you know, I think I do. I'm not sure if I can find them, and I just close the door. I mean, I don't really fucking care anymore. Like, and that
now, if it bothers me. If it was a man, would you have said, "Yeah, let me grab them for you"?
Fuck yeah, yeah. Well. Hey, no, I will preface that to say, if this is somebody in which that I've engaged with, that I can judge, and we've got an interaction, yeah. Nowadays, I don't know, because if I don't know him, I'm lending him out something that I would have if he never returns it, or oh yeah, I'll get it back to you. Like I'll ask you 3 times.
You're out $50.
Exactly. After like 3 times, I ask you for that back. I'm done. Like. And then after
first of all, a man is never going to borrow a tool. A man has his own tools. What he's really asking when he says, "Do you have jumper cables?" is, "Will you come give me a jump?"
Generally, that's the case. Yes.
Now, if a woman does
Like I
it, you
need
don't know
help.
what the fuck is going on. They might want to hook them to their nipples or something. But
Or they might want to, like Cuban was saying, they act like they got a broke down car. You walk up there, and then her 3 homeboys come out of the ditch and club your ass over the head and take your car and your shit.
Yep. Yep.
And that happens a lot more now. That's actually happens a lot. People getting carjacked because they throw a honeypot out there, and some simp comes up there want to be a white knight, and then they're laying out bleeding in a ditch while their car's getting drove off.
It's like straight out of the Book of Eli movie, right? Remember that that little ratchet that was out there like running down on with a little
Man eaters.
What was that? Like a grocery chart, or grocery cart, and she was she was the honeypot. No, I mean, after I read that article, when the guy in the UK that lost his job, his wife,
Australia.
he was I think it was the UK.
No, it was in Australia.
I think. Was it? Okay.
Yeah, I've covered him.
He was in prison for like 2 months, and only in if there was no CCTV, he would have been fucked.
Well, the worst part is they had that from day one. They had all the evidence they needed to clear him, and they didn't. They chose not to.
That I did not know. That's even
helping that woman with her car.
Yes, for 3 fucking hours. And still
Chris, I didn't know that they knew that and they didn't release it. That's really fucked up.
They had that fucking video footage day one. Because that's where she says it happened.
And you got to believe all women.
No, they want to believe all women because that's what they like to use. That's all that is. They like to use that shit to basically put guys in jail for no reason. It has nothing to do with the law.
When that came out, I showed that to my ex, and I said, "This is why I will not stop for any woman. I will call, but I'm not getting out of the car. I'm not helping her. After I call, I'm gone." And she's like, "Oh, I can't believe that you wouldn't if she had a flat tire, would you not help her?" I'm like, "No." Like
I drive right by.
Do you not understand? Like, this is one anecdote. I get it. Maybe it's not the norm, but why would I want to take my time, my effort, my perhaps money, to get her back on her feet? Like, she's got a fucking cell phone, unless we're out in the middle of the
she's got a jack and a fucking spare tire in her car too.
Yeah, but she's never seen it.
I remember that there was this article on Volkswagen that they made like an all-female prototype car. It was very easy to maintain from the owner's perspective. But even though that they made it so that it was something which that they would be alerted to oil change, tire pressure, all the basic maintenance that anybody could do, it didn't sell because they would sell it to both men and women, but men hated it because they were like, this doesn't have enough like alerts for me to know, actually, it was the engine compartment because it was kind of locked down. I don't know if you guys remember. This is like probably 15 years ago. You guys remember that?
No.
I remember it. You had to change all the fluids every 28 days, or it got real grouchy.
The rest of us didn't take our member berries.
Sorry, I had to just throw that in there.
No, that's good. That's good levity, man. Which is kind of true. I can't. I think it was.
So it was a car for dummies then.
No, it was a car for women.
Like it was like
exactly.
Yeah.
It didn't even have a dipstick. You got to take it into the garage to have the oil change because it doesn't have a dipstick to check the tranny or the engine oil or.
Yep.
It had one idiot light that was just seatbelt.
Yep, it never got out of prototype because of look. I just all right. So I've ordered about 2,000 strips, which is gosh 200,000 ivermectin, and I'm splitting it with a buddy of mine. So I've got enough for me, myself, my family, my friends. You know, probably good enough for probably 20 to 30 people on my side after it's split. And I was talking to a lady that she got, or well, she was very sick. She got tested. She did test positive for whatever BA4, BA5, whatever COVID strain's going around. And she's overweight. So she was like, "Well, when you get that, can I get some?" I'm like, "Yeah, no problem. Like it's gonna cost you." You know, I mean, if you get ivermectin, I don't know how, like, if you guys follow, like, I'm in population health. So what we're doing for therapeutics is just asinine here in the States. But so I said, yeah, you know, I can, I could be happy to give that to you. But she was like, well, I need to go to my PCP to make sure that I am covered and well, in case I get admitted. And I'm like, well, if you get admitted, you're probably not going to be taking ivermectin. Like at that point, you know, you've got other therapeutics there. You'll get
Pump remdesivir.
Yeah, well, yeah. And then I had another friend that got Haldol. So get this, because she was like, well, and this is a Weiss friend, but because she was so, I don't know, like very, like she could not breathe. So she was moving around. She was like very anxious, very hypertensive. They gave her Haldol. She was out for 60 hours. Didn't poop, didn't pee, didn't anything. And she didn't eat, obviously, right? So it went from a 2-day inpatient stay to an 8-day inpatient stay because she had to basically re-regulate her body because the fucking doctors knocked her out,
shut her down.
And yeah, like when you take narcotics like that, your fucking colon backs up. Like if you like pooping while standing, like you're gonna take a major turd. And you're going to be constipated. You're
all the opiates do that.
Yeah,
exactly the point, Brandon. Or Mal.
That's the heroin addicts.
Yeah. So anyway, so it went from like a normal 2-day, and she was like 54. Normal 2-day stay at most in the hospital, and she was there for 8 days. And of course, you know, hospitals love it because they're like, oh, we're making money. Anyway, I don't mean to domineer the stream, but that just
they've been pretty much free association for the last 25, 30 minutes, man.
I brought it around once with the external validation.
Yeah, we just can't seem to keep it there.
So whatever's
you know,
been
all us men want to talk about what we want to talk about, you know.
But you wanted to get some shit off your chest, and you did. So good on you.
I did. Sorry, I'm just like I'm very incensed and roiled up from a early conversation with somebody tonight. And
you should have told you should have told that woman too, because you had gotten into the pool, didn't you, and gotten out?
No, I was walking up there with my dog, and the only reason I stopped with her because she had her dog.
Okay, I thought you had went swimming. I would have told her you just get in the pool and then when get out and say, and for your information, I just pissed in that pool and then walk out.
You're an evil bastard.
Yes, I am.
Well, my mistake was engaging, which has been always my issue because I'm a very principled, you know, and I'm not trying to pat myself, but I am very somebody in which that If I know something that you don't know, I want you not to necessarily agree with me, but then to know what I know. And then you can take it for whatever way that you want. And for somebody that just is a blind fucking NPC, I want them to go, I hadn't thought about that. But with women, it's just a lost cause. Like you could
It is.
say,
It's a
here's
complete
theirs,
lost
here's the
cause.
DMED database, like, and you could show quantitative analysis of why this jab shot for 6 months to 5 years is a fucking stupid idea. They don't care. They're like, oh, this is just so much.
They're not going to
Oh.
respond to logic.
No.
They're going to run purely off of emotion and feelings.
Yep.
And if
Then
you're willing
you hit them with the
you're
fact
wrong.
they made this stuff out of babies. It's got fetal stem cells in it. So I'm not a cannibal. I'm not going to put it in my body.
Yeah, and where did all those pieces of baby come from? Planned Parenthood clinic.
You know exactly where they came from.
Yep.
I wonder, where did they come from?
Well, I wonder now that they say that Roe versus Wade is not a federal issue, will there still be federal funding for Planned Parenthood?
Oh,
I sure hope not.
That's a good question.
You know,
I mean, hopefully it will go back to the states, but no, that's a good question, Bryn.
Well, I hope it goes back to the states because all the liberal blue states are going to still have abortions. They can pick up the tab, and the taxpayers that voted for those pricks can feel the pain. I live in a very, very red state, and I don't want to pay for some woman to vacuum a kid out of her.
Nope.
Well, I did see a young lady that had a very good point today, and she said Roe versus Wade didn't happen because of the Christians. Roe versus Wade didn't happen because of, men. It happened because people started, aborting children up until the minute before they gave birth. And now they're talking about doing postpartum abortions that happened because of you feminist ladies.
Yeah,
and this was a chick telling them that. And
what was the one place wants to go up to what, 2 weeks or something after the baby's born?
I think in California they proposed a year.
Yeah, one place did propose a year.
Yeah, and then one of the states, I think it was Missouri, they signed one of those trigger laws, but it was up to 4 weeks or 2 weeks. So if you found out you were pregnant within 2 weeks, you could get a procedure. But
2 weeks after birth.
Yeah, this
is after you found out you're pregnant. You have 2 weeks or 4 weeks to get an abortion.
Well, that's not enough time. You need at least one cycle.
Well, and all right. So I was talking with this other lady that was like, "Oh, I can't believe that they're." I'm like, do you realize that they're not outlawing abortion? They're putting it back into the states. There's nothing to indicate that this ruling 50 years ago, let alone the fact you had 50 years to ratify or do an amendment. Just like what we've done and the other 23 that we've done in this country from the original founders. She didn't get that. So I'm like, okay.
And Roe versus Wade was all based on a lie.
Yeah.
Yes, on her deathbed.
It was a
allegation. Fake rape claim, and then she had the child.
Yep.
That child is
and
that
on her deathbed, she finally admitted the fact that I was. She never said that she was coerced, but
no, they tried to
probably
her
she
after
she.
They wanted her to change her testimony and say that it actually happened. When she fucking
I
came
hadn't
out
heard
and
that,
said
but I would not be surprised.
Thing was a lie, right? They tried to get her to change her statement and say that it wasn't.
And you literally could.
perjure herself on perjuring herself.
Yes.
And
That
you
was
literally
the
could show
reporters
that
that wanted
video
that.
that said where she retracted it, that yeah, I wasn't raped. It was a choice. You could literally go through like the stats of like rape is 0.01 to 0.05% of the actual people that get the DNC at a Planned Parenthood. You could show that 95% of the time it's just either it's economically disadvantaging to me or NA. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to answer the question.
Yeah, they don't
Doesn't
want to answer the
matter.
question. So
It doesn't. Hot girl
basically,
summer.
yeah, that's what it was. Well, I mean, that's what we heard first, right off the cuff, man, was what women were talking about. It's like, well, I can't, my trip to Mexico will be spoiled if I can't have abortions. My hot girl summer will be over
Yeah.
if I can't have
Yeah, when she goes
abortions.
on spring break and raw dogs 6 guys, and then
Yeah,
comes back home preggers.
that was literally what they were saying. It's
Yep.
like, you mean to tell me you can't fucking use birth control and you would rather just come home and be able to murder a baby? Good call.
And
Yeah,
Chris,
you should
the
be
other
running
thing,
things.
I mean, the other thing that I can't wrap my head around. So black women roughly represent 6.5% of the U.S. population, and yet over 30 to 30, 40 or 40,000 are terminated because of that. There's no outcry for that. It's George Floyd.
Yep.
It's just, and if you show that to them, well, again, all right, so there's Florida data has a pretty good breakdown of their DNC elective procedures. So they use that, and when I presented that to this woman in my neighborhood, and her response was, well, that's Florida. They're a conservative state. So, of course, it's going to be different. Like, could be just Florida, just let's agree to disagree that 800 to maybe 1 million babies are aborted.
Mm-hmm.
If Florida is an indicator of one particular state, but if you can extrapolate that, 0.01% amongst that 800,000 is 8,000. So 8,000 rapes occurred, and the other 792 occurred because, didn't really want it,
Yep.
Didn't take my birth control, my 12 options that I have, and then let alone give it up for option or the adoption or safe harbor or whatever.
Yep.
Well, they
I'll
always use
shut
the
up.
straw man arguments the emotional straw man arguments is the only way they ever try to win these debates.
Yeah.
Hey, Saunders, get on if you want, you farting fucker.
The worst part is I know that, like I said, I met a woman who uses
You did?
abortion.
I don't believe it.
No, I met a woman that uses
You
abortion.
just meet a
as
woman
her
right
birth
there.
control.
That old.
Where the fuck is this guy going?
Well, in Walgreens and CVS, they've now limited how many Plan B pills, up to 3, because there's a run on them. All these, it's like that Seinfeld episode, with the sponge.
Yeah. I'm not going to waste my last sponge on that guy. He's not sponge worthy.
Right.
Yes, who lives in a pussy under the sea? SpongeBob, pussy or sperm blocker. Yeah, but that sponge is fucking disgusting. Jesus.
Well, I mean, I was fucking this one girl back in the 2000s. Like, you could feel it, like your dick would hit it. Like you could feel like that's not her cervix. It's like you could feel that.
Just imagine if you forgot and you went down there and you thought you was getting a Twinkie and it was one of them sponges.
What is the reaction is going to be nothing compared to the midterms.
Yeah, no, like I said, man, they use abortion as their birth control. They know exactly what they're doing. They know when they're doing it. They do not give two fucks. And, you know, strong, independent, right?
Did
Well,
you
they
see guys
probably
see that
use.
video
I
about
wouldn't put it
basic
past
birth
them.
control?
I wouldn't put it past the women to get pregnant on purpose, test out all the fucking baby daddies they're fucking to see if they can get anybody to pay. Nobody's gonna pay up. They get the abortion. Go fuck a whole new, different crowd of guys the next time. Try it again.
Oh, the one chick that I met, she wouldn't
I
take
would
birth
not put
control.
it past women to do that shit.
The one chick I met, she wouldn't take it because she said it would make her fat. And here she is, like fucking 200 pounds.
Plan B, like it would make her fat because she took
No, she wouldn't take just
birth control.
Yeah, she would not take the pill. She said it would make her fat, and here she is, 200 pounds.
Like, you should have said
fatter, you know.
Hey, gentlemen, I'm going to bounce. It's 10 o'clock here. I got to get up at 5 a.m. So,
yeah,
that's their logic, though.
Goodbye, ape. You and your beard will be missed.
I got to go get this ready for bed. Pleasure talking to you, gentlemen.
All right.
All right. See you, Abe.
We'll talk to you later. Bye.
And then there were three.
How many?
Three.
How many?
I'm going to go mute here for a second here. I got to do some stuff here.
All right. Well, Chris, I think that, you know, in the spirit of you know, the environment and everything, when we do our dragging in the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, we're going to have to use hemp rope.
Yeah, well, of course, you know, we got to make it environmentally friendly and all that shit.
Right, right.
You know, we're going to, you know, just bury the bodies in the dirt raw, no caskets, because caskets don't allow for natural fucking decomposition.
Right.
And we can't have that.
Well, I was thinking about that too. What if we had a special chamber built up where we could throw them in, and then we shut the door and we allow only anaerobic decomposition, and we harvest the methane off of their decaying bodies and use it to, you know, run our cars on or something.
Oh, dude, you are such a earth warrior.
Yeah.
The planet is going to thank you, sir.
I think so. I think so. Singletown Bachelor.
Yeah, it's got to be like noon there now.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's like Soylent Green personified right there, guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to be right up there with Justin Trudeau as the fucking, like, real environmentalist, social justice warrior.
What? Hey, Chris, what did that fucker say the other day, or maybe it was today? Oh, and you know, it was probably, you know, against what's her name, the insurgent that she was arrested for mischief.
Well, I didn't hear that
I just
part.
thought, what's that?
I didn't hear anything on what he said about her. I did see the clip where he was talking about fucking, oh, he doesn't believe they got the gun thing right, so they're going to rework it and come up with new ideas. Here's an idea. Fuck off.
I mean, it's like I said, I've had a few tonight, but what's going on
every night, man?
Well, lately, yeah, because I just, you know, I mean, I'm torn between. I was, talking with an older gentleman that I know that, he's giving me the ivermectin hydrochloroquine, and he's like, Carl, are you running to something or running from something? I'm like, it's a good question, Fred. Right now, it's pretty much a toss up. Like I don't really look at the Philippines and recognizing how that they fucked up things and locked things down. But I could live there with the money that I have much better and much more freer, I feel, than what I can here in the States.
Yeah. You can rent the fucking Filipino army.
Well, yeah, or I could rent in an area where maybe it's outside of like Dumaguete, that these people, it's kind of like living outside of like West Virginia or Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Those fuckers will. They're like, or Kentucky. Good luck trying to go out and get those guys. So I'm like, I get what you're saying, but I feel like in a way, I don't know if it's not going to be affected by any area that you're at in the Western Hemisphere. But like I said, I've been drinking.
No, you're not wrong, dude.
Well, what's your purpose for going over there? Are you going to go get a woman?
No. If that happens, good. And I for those expats that are there, they're very clear that if you're going over there to get a woman at my age, you're going to be paying for it, just like what you would here. But because of the Catholicism, it's much different than what it is here in the U.S. So if you find a good woman, you take care of her, and yeah, you will be expected to pay a certain stipend, relative to what it costs here in the States, might be $200 to $400 a month. And that's given back to her family to provide for them. Single motherhood, not interested in that at all. But again, I'm 51, so probably going to have to. Again, it's more of, do you want to go there for a wife, or which I don't, or do you want to go there just for the experience and atmosphere, culture, family?
Horse.
There,
we're going for the horse.
Well, or that too, right? Just pay to. I mean, you can live there. I mean, if you got $3,000 that you can spend without ever worrying about running out of money, dude, you would live the equivalent of a upper middle income class than what we would have here. Like here, you would be not poverty, but close to it.
Yeah.
In Thailand too, it's like, I mean, any older man that goes overseas that thinks that I'm going to live off of $1,500 a month, you can, but you're not going to be. You will be living there. You won't be. You won't have the lifestyle that you think that you had in the States. But 3,000 to 4,000, yeah, you can rent. You can have a woman, provided that you find her that she's attracted, she's willing to, or she's one in which that you want to invest in her, and you're going to be paying for her family. But it's still going to be about $3,000 to $4,000 a month. But here, I mean, I don't know what you guys pay, but I'm probably at least $4,500 to $5,000 a month, and that's just for basic amenities. Anyway,
here you could get away with probably 2,500. No, you probably depends. Depends on what you like. Do you want it? Are you talking like just a 1-bedroom place?
Yeah, no. Like in the Philippines, you can get a 2-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo for $650 a month in Dumaguete.
Yeah.
Like Manila, I don't have any interest in living there. or in Thailand, depending on what the lease that you have, 600, and that would be in a high rise. And Pattaya, you and that's going to be your
You
biggest
don't want to.
expense.
You don't want to live in Pattaya.
I would like to live there for maybe a month or two. For me personally, I would be probably in Chiang Rai or Chiang Mai. Like Bangkok, I didn't really enjoy that. I mean, it was fun, like New York. It's fun, but it's not a place that I could see myself living in.
Well,
But I do feel like it would be a one-way trip. Like
my
you know,
kid's
if-
mom, she lived in Manila. Yeah, it's Manila, right? The city,
Hmm.
the big city. She lived there for a year and a half because she worked for eBay, and she said it was gorgeous and stuff, but yeah, good place to go get kidnapped.
yeah, it's like moving from like California, LA to another. I mean, it's not like Singapore. I mean, if I could afford it, I would go to Singapore in a second. But then you're talking about $6,000 to $7,000 for a decent Western lifestyle,
Mm.
and it's not really part of my budget. Pissing while sitting. I love it. What's up, Father?
How you guys doing?
Good, man.
Oh, we're doing.
Shit, Brandon, 2 hours and 15 minutes already, huh?
Yeah, Brandon's
Yeah.
running up his StreamYard time.
We're gonna have to send him money so he has more head and shoulders to fight off those copperheads in the pond.
Hey, Brandon, just out of curiosity, like, do you have like an hourly limit per month?
I don't know. I haven't run into it yet.
You do until you pay for it.
Yeah.
I think it's
20 hours.
20 hours, and if you go over, then you pay. I think the starting basic plan is 25 a month. I'm on that right now because I went freaking ham when I first started. You're talking 5, 6, 7 hour streams and shit. And
Yeah, but you go to sleep with your fucking StreamYard on, man.
well, I don't do that anymore though. I stopped doing that. But yeah, I did used to do that for sure.
Yeah, it's a
So
bit of a
how
difference when
does-
you pass out.
How does Good Mother like she? Oh man, her streams are like 14 hours long.
Yep, she pays for the same thing. I think she's on the same plan.
Okay.
I could probably go back to be honest, because my streams are usually they're averaging around 3.5 hours now. Just depends because I'll have those impromptu sometimes. Like I did a stream Friday and Saturday this last weekend, and then sometimes I'll just do one stream, and every once in a blue moon I'll do one during the week. I don't know. It just all depends, I guess. 25, it's not like it's going to break the bank. You just hate paying for shit. It's just another bill. Just like it doesn't matter how small it is. I don't have any subscriptions and things like that, but there's a lot of people that do. No offense to them, but it's just one more thing to add to what you're already fucking trying to do. And I don't like that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
No,
Sure.
I don't like paying for anything outside of what I have to. For example, utilities, phone bill, and internet. Outside of that, you can just nickel and dime yourself to death if you want to have all those different subscription things, because of course they would. When everybody sees a certain company get big on something, oh, now we're going to do it. We're going to take a slice of the pie out of here. Now, if you want to do this, you have to buy two. You have to buy that one and this one. And then it just freaking dominoes from there.
No, it's like paying for, I don't know what the name is, but Tinder Gold, or where you can like travel internationally, and you can geomax. What's that? I mean, Chris. I mean, I don't know. I've just heard people like,
No,
I had to
paid
pay
for Tinder
extra.
once. It was like $79 for a fucking month of it, or some shit like that. And I was
that
like,
much?
Yeah, dude. I thought at one point it was like fucking 90 or something, but it was like $79 for the one. And I was like, this was literally not worth $5.
No, it never is. And to piggyback what you guys were saying when you're talking about going overseas and whatnot, I see a lot of people thinking that as the answer, and they're saying, get your passport, guys, get this, get that. And I'm like, how is it going to be any fucking different?
If you bring them back here,
yeah,
It's
Well,
not gonna
no,
have a good time. I mean, go see the world. I have no problems with that. No problems. But if you think that you're going to solve your relationship issues by going overseas, I
No.
got a bridge to sell you because it ain't
Right.
going to happen.
no. I
No,
mean,
and if you
And you damn sure can't bring them back here, like you said. Well, that means you got to adopt their traditional lifestyles. More than likely, pay for their families because they're really big on families and the man taking care of their families and shit overseas. I don't know if these people know that or not. I've never even been.
when they come here and they realize what they can do to a guy in the family court, you run into what my buddy's going through right now.
Yeah, it's over once you bring them here because
It's
they're going
fucking
to
over.
adopt their societal lifestyle. It's over.
Yeah. They're gonna adopt that fucking feminist fucking bullshit and destroy you and use the kids to do it. And he's, despite it being like 3.5 years of this nonsense that he's been going through and the way she treats him, he still will not believe me about what she's gonna do next.
Yeah, there's some people that just have to crash and burn and get completely destroyed before they'll ever understand. Sometimes it's just the way it is. You
Yeah.
can't get through to some people until they get completely destroyed.
Well, apparently he wants to be one of them.
Yeah, and it sucks because you know what's coming. I know what's
I
coming.
know it's coming.
I ain't
I
ever
was
doing
like,
that shit again, dude.
dude, I was like, here's what she's
You all
gonna
know
do
what's
next.
coming.
I was like, dude, here's what she's gonna do next. Oh, I don't care. I don't care. I was like, you will care when you never see your kids again.
Yeah, maybe it
You
might
will
not be as
fucking
bad,
care.
but there's going to be something. There might be little deviations from what we talk about, but it all ends up in the same road. You alone with court bills and losing properties and losing time with your kids. I mean,
Yeah, he's already fucking suicidal for fuck's sakes.
so
Yeah.
so he brought her back, Chris,
From
from
Philippines.
Philippines, or
Yeah.
I think most people know, or not most people, but most MGTOW know that bad choice. But if he wants to stay there, I mean, you will always be on the hook to make sure that her family is taken care of, as well as her.
Yep.
So, I mean, it is, it's not something, well, and there are several expats that I follow, and they are pretty clear, and I think it makes sense that up front you tell her, I'm going to give you this amount a month, and it only, depending on the province or area, location, and expense, but it could be $150 a month. Here's your allowance, and that's it. Now, whether or not if you choose to spend that on you or your family, that's on you. This is, we are not going to get married. But I also have seen men that after 4 or 5 years, they're like, well, I really love her.
Mm.
I want to keep her. Her family is putting a lot of pressure on them because, obviously in the Philippines, particularly, they're very, very Catholic. And so they want some type of security. But a lot of men don't, they go in going, well, if I throw all this cash at her, that's going to make her more happy and be more willing, and which we know here in the West, that's a fallacy.
Yeah.
Whatever you give her, it's going to be, well,
it'll never be enough.
For false law. Yeah.
What have you got done for me today?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Didn't matter the 99 things I did for you the whole last year. It's what have you done today? I just can't fathom it. And that's why I get so frustrated or used to, where it's like, how could you just forget everything I've done like it doesn't exist and then concentrate on this one thing that I may or may not have fucked up on in your eyes?
Yep.
Then you want to shame me, you want to guilt trip me, because guilt's a good deterrent, a good motivating factor to keep you beneath her is guilt and shaming, belittling in front of everybody, shit like that. It's a god awful downward spiral from there.
Well, and all four of us have been married, I think, right? Chris, I know you've been married. Father Saunders.
Yeah, I was with my
Brandon?
wife for 14 years.
Yeah. So we've all done that and thought, well, if I did this for her, it would make her happy. We all know now that it didn't matter if we gave her a $20,000 engagement ring or took her on nice trips and got her a nice hat. It did not matter. It was that might have satiated her depending on the woman. Maybe a couple of years, maybe. But there's always that, the social. Well, I think that social media is just. I mean, it's fucked it for men because you can't compete with
Nope.
all of her social circles now.
Nope.
You just can't.
There's no way in hell. They have hundreds of people just, quote unquote, waiting in line if you fuck up. Well, look at all these men that want me. I'm like, that's not a flex. If you're an attractive woman and you have a lot of men that want you and you use that as a flex, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Of course, men are going to want to fuck you. Doesn't mean, okay, they want to lay with you, but they're not going to stay with you, I promise.
Right.
And you can't compete with that. Well, I got 100 other dudes lined up. If you make one little tiny mistake that, normally wouldn't be an issue, and it's like, okay, I'm done. We're going to try to find something else. And then they find themselves alone and miserable in their 30s or 40s, wondering what the hell happened. Just like, how many men that you've passed up that would have given you a lifestyle that you would have liked or treated you well, things like that. You've already, went by all of them this whole time because nothing was ever good enough for you. Because if you're materialistic at all, it doesn't matter how much materials you have, you always are going to want more. That's what I know. There's never going to be a cap, ever.
Nope.
And it sucks because, as men, we want to love women. It's just natural. We want to love women. We don't want to come home and battle. We don't want to have to deal with shit every day, come home, and it's like walking on eggshells the second you walk in the door. You know how many times you guys have probably done it too, maybe? I sat in the driveway and I'm like, I really don't want to go back in this house.
Oh, yes. I mean, there was one time where there was a meeting in front of me and I thought, you know what? I could just end this right here. I could go. I was on a major interstate. I'm like, I wouldn't have to go home.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there were times where like, oh man. But so here's the thing, Fonder. Women that if they are happy today, do you not think that a big proportion of it? I mean, we all know about hypergamy and a woman's choice and feeling like she needs to do better, but do you not think that her influence of the friends that she associates with has such a major impact on whether or not if she's going to be satiated and be content?
I think you are spot on in the vast majority of cases. Of course, not 100%, but vast majority, because women are very hive-minded. And if they feel threatened in any way with you or by your relationship or being happy or whatever, they will sit there and try to plant these seeds in the woman. Oh, you could do better. Oh, don't worry, he's an asshole, or let's go out and do this. Let's go out and do that. I mean, you do have to look at their social circle because it's what she may be just like around when you're not around. So I think it has a big influence, unfortunately.
Yep.
Especially if they're around a bunch of single friends who like to do things their way and like to travel or like to do whatever. It's just like, what's my wife going to be like if I'm not there with all these single friends that she has who can't keep a man either? I mean, it's, it's up for grabs.
Yep.
It's like, oh, you're just being insecure. No. Has nothing to do with this.
Oh, you're just controlling. Yeah, no.
You're just being controlling or like, and I never really had to deal with this, but you see it all the time now, is the way your woman dresses when she goes out without you. It's like you're advertising yourself, but you're taken. Why are you doing that? If you're wearing a bunch of revealing clothing and all this makeup and you're just looking, like sexy as hell, whatever it is, it's like, why? Why are you doing that? It makes no sense to me because you're looking for validation. You're looking for attention somewhere. Even if you turn the guys down or whatever, they're going to come on to you. It's just a shit show waiting to happen. So why are you wearing all this revealing shit? Or, those women in the gyms now, the new fucking thought club going into the gyms wearing next to nothing. And how dare you look at me? Don't be mad at me for consuming what you're fucking advertising. As men, we are going to look. Don't be fucking pissed. You're going to get attention from people you don't want, and maybe some of you do, but you're going to get attention both ways. So you're just going to have to suck it up.
No, spot on. In fact,
in my first marriage, I remember one time coming home. I'd put in like a 16-hour day. And I walk in the door. Wife has got her nose in the fucking phone. The kids are fucking got their noses in the video game. And I walk in and I say, hello. Not a fucking word from any of them.
Oh, man.
And I turn around, go out, find the main power breaker for the house, and shut her off.
Awesome.
Oh,
That's
is
what you-
awesome. That is awesome.
I come back in and I say, let's try this again. I've been out busting my ass in the Texas sun all day. I went to work before any of you got out of bed. I'm here and it's almost your bedtime. And I came in and I said hello, and not a one of y'all said anything.
And that's got to hurt, dude. That fucking stabs my heart, dude. It really does. You're telling me that you couldn't just for 10 seconds, hey, Dad, hi, I'd give you a big hug. Good to see you, Dad. And then go back to doing your thing or whatever. I mean, something. God dang, man. That just pierces my heart, too. It's like, I don't want to sound like fucking high and mighty, but by God, when you walk in that house, you better acknowledge me, motherfucker. Because the reason why all this shit's on right now is because of what I'm doing.
Exactly. And, but, you know, towards the end of my first marriage, there was a lot of that stuff. I'd come home, fucking sink full of dishes, no food made. And then she'd bitch that I didn't help her out enough around the house. I'm like, you're a stay-at-home mother.
Yeah,
do your fucking job.
Yeah, for fuck's sake. Or on my end, my ex-wife, very, very good nurse, very hardworking. I'll give credit where it's due. Very, very good mother. The kids, they got them. She's a travel nurse. She's got a BSN. I can't take away from that. That aside, what about the things that you did do that were never good enough? I couldn't even load the fucking dishwasher right, for fuck's sake. And then you want to bitch about not getting the help or whatever. You're never sitting down. It's like, well, whenever someone does, it's not good enough. So what do you want? It's either you accept what we try to do, or you just leave everybody the hell alone and do it yourself and don't bitch about it. You know? And, you know, the kids and whatnot, they're definitely old enough to be doing the dishes, to be taking out the trash, to be mowing this fucking lawn. Why the fuck am I doing it? Well, you should lead by example. I'm like, no. You're not going to play that game with me. There's no reason why they can't do these things that I have taught them that I shouldn't even have to ask get done by the time I get home. It's simple things. These are very simple things to do. And why am I working 12-hour shifts? Because you did 16, Brandon. Mine were 12s. And I'm working on the house. And I'm in the National Guard still when I was done with active duty. And I'm traveling to the next town to stay in shape. And you're telling me that you're not going to get on the kids to do things that because it would be my wife at the time or myself out doing the yard work. And I was just like, if I was a neighbor and I saw that, I'd be like, where the fuck are their kids? For fuck's sake, they should be out there doing that shit just like I had to do.
If they're old enough, yeah.
God dang, dude. I started mowing the lawn when I was 10. I'm not saying that every kid's got to be, that's 10's got to do it. But, I mean, we're talking about teenagers and shit here at the time.
Hey, whenever my dad was outside working, from as early as I can remember, we were outside helping him.
Yeah, I was taught to mow at 10, and guess who had to do it for the whole time? Outside of that, it was me. It was expected of me to help mom with dishes. Dad always came up and said thank you, but I did it every night. My older brother didn't because he was a piss ant, and we get along fantastic now. But yeah, my brother did a lot of fucking fucked up shit. I learned a lot about what not to do from my brother, and I was always faster than him, but he was always stronger. So I could always outrun him and get away from him. And the funniest thing is if I would run and lock a door in the house or whatever, he could not touch that door because he knew if he put a hole in it, mom and dad would put a hole in his ass. But he never did any of that stuff. I did all of it. But, you know, I guess I didn't even question it. I just did it because that's what I didn't want to disappoint my mother and father. I just did it. And, of course, I'm sure there was times, I can't think of any specific times, I probably bitched about it because what kid doesn't? You know,
well, I don't even know why I did it. It was just expected of me, so I did it.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it was for me, too. And I was also what's called a latchkey kid where mom and dad were already gone working in the factory before I got up, and they weren't home by the time I got home. So I had to do a lot of shit on my own, and I never thought twice about it. I thought that was normal, you know. I'm not saying every kid needs to be like that, but god dang, man, the way the world's going now with the lack of discipline, respect.
Well, yeah, Father, I was just going to say, you had respect, Brandon. I did as well. Nowadays, kids really don't see. It's almost like as much as we want to complain about female entitlement, I think younger kids today, it is the entitlement of which that, oh, so I go to college, I have a bullshit degree, and I should be coming out and making six figures.
Yeah.
Like there is no, like, I need to evolve, develop, get. They literally look at life as where this is what I want. This is what my expectation is. Why is this not happening for me?
Yeah.
They don't understand, like, sacrifice and investment and commitment is rewarded. They think, well, that's like MySpace. That's just no. The other thing I wanted to comment is that Aaron Clary had, I think, a good podcast today. I mean, he's talked about this as well, and several others. Human, TFM, way back in the day. But there's an element of which that, and what was the other one? I think Better Bachelor had this as well. But it was posed the question of, what if you finally wake up and realize that women really don't love men? We all know that intrinsically. We all know that they love for what we can either make them feel, what we can, if you're Giga Chad, what we can either provide, if you're beta, or rich or whatever, and trying to get, above their sexual market value. But the reality for most men should be, she really does not love you. She loves what you can provide, and you are replaceable. There is no, and even once you provide that with hypergamy or Profalt's law, it will never be a running track that will not end.
No.
But I tell my buddy that all the time about his soon-to-be ex-wife. She doesn't love you. I don't believe they can. I think it's exactly what you're saying. They love what you can do at the time. They love your status at the time. But once that stuff wears off, they're gone. That's not a love thing.
Yep.
I don't believe most women love their own children. I don't think they're capable of it. And I know
Chris, I get it. I think that women love the validation that children provide to them within the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's all about what they're getting. It has nothing to do with raising a happy, healthy kid.
Yeah,
because otherwise, like, they would not be aborting kids like they are. And there is a culture in which that, primarily within the Black community, particularly, that, like, a young Black woman will get status or acknowledgement if they have a kid. But it's not because they want a kid. It's the intrinsic solipsism of, by getting that kid, I then elevate myself within my Black community to be now something better than what I would have normally had if I didn't have a kid when I was 16.
Yep. Well, I think on top of that, and I just thought of this since you brought it up. If that fan's too loud, let me know. I got a fan going, so I'm starting to fucking sweat. They get validation too by, let's just say your son or your daughter's really good at sports, or they're really known in the community, or they're very nice and mannerly. They get that, oh, your son or daughter's so good at this, or oh, they're so mannerly, or so that's another form of validation, because she can be like, yeah, I did that. That's me.
Yep. Tiger mom.
Yeah. Well, and another way is they will always try to compare their kids and their achievements to every other kid. I noticed that since I was young. Like I had
Yeah.
an aunt who had grandkids, and everything was about how you should be like her grandkids.
Oh man.
Yeah, right down to me being left-handed. Yeah.
I will never forget. Sorry, I'm just eating. Um, I will never forget. I had an interview up in Chicago. They flew me first class out there. Didn't ask for it, but whatever. I don't even know whether it was even relevant to them flying out. Maybe it was just like that was the only ticket. Who knows? But they flew me out. Had a car pick me up. Had the interview. Told my mom about it. It wasn't like, hey, what do you really want to work for this company? Is this something in which that you really want to do? No, she was all focusing on, oh, they flew you out first class.
Ooh.
They had a car for you. It was, I mean, even at that time, I think it was like, I don't know, 32. It kind of struck me like, so, so they paid a little bit more to, it really made me kind of, and I love my mom. My mom was a great mom,
You're
traditional,
waffling,
but
man. You're almost as bad as Bob.
what's that?
I said you're waffling. You're almost as bad as Bob.
No one's worse than Bob on boozed
I said
up.
almost.
Yeah,
Almost.
when Bob's boozed
Right.
up, man.
I remember one time I got the same treatment where they fly you out and give you a great hotel room and and everything, and then you get the job and you go on business travel and you're flying coach.
Oh no, believe me, I mean, it was with McKesson, and no, I mean, I don't think they would have continued that, but I mean, obviously they wanted to make a good impression, but it
Yeah,
struck
but
me to
I had
no
that very
end.
experience when I went to interview for Beechcraft. Flew me out first class, put me up in the best hotel in Wichita. They gave me a car to drive from the Wichita airport, which is nothing, to Beechcraft in the hotel and everything. And then I got the job. And every time I have to travel for business, I was flying coach, staying in like the Motel 8.
We'll leave the light on for you.
Yeah. So
Um,
it was a first class recruiting, but after that, okay.
Hey, look, man, it was a honeypot for sure. Like they wanted to get me in and impress me, but I was always amazed, like mom, like you didn't ask me. It was more about what can I tell my friends, my other ladies that I know in the in my social circle, like, oh, my son got flown. It was never about do you really want the job? Like how much work are you gonna have to travel a lot? Are you going to be around at all for us to get together for family function? I mean, there was no, and that was one aspect. And then when my stepdad died of cancer, I got his diary. That was a big, red pill wake up. Like he wrote down things that we were not privy to. It made me realize that, and he was an attorney, and my mom married him. Actually, it was her attorney in the divorce.
Well, of course.
That was a big red pill going. On his deathbed, he gave that to me and my brother. And my brother read it first. I read it second. And I'm not sure what my my older brother took out of it, but I read it as like he was a means to an end. Like she was a single mom, divorced, and he provided for her. Didn't really feel appreciated. So anyway, I mean, not to get to what I'm talking about, but it gets back to that fact. Like once you realize that it doesn't matter what you make, doesn't matter if you're like Elon Musk or Johnny Depp, it will never change. So whatever she gets now, she thinks that she is deserved later. So why bother? Why, like, literally, I'm 51. So why would you, and I get it. My drive is a hell of a lot less than somebody that's in their 20s. But why would you want to jump through all their hoops knowing that even if you find a good woman and in your 20s, chances are when she's 40 or 45, she's going to be like, I need to eat, pray, love. I need to find the next stage of my life. Why? Which is sad, because I think that, like, most men are very idealistic with their love. We are not as opportunistic with our love, but that's just not the reality today. And I wish that my old man had told me through his divorce what he went through, because I probably would not have ever gotten married. I probably would have said, I saw it indirectly, but if he had been more direct with me, Dad, I would not have done it.
No, that's what I'm hoping I can, well, at least teach my one kid about. It's like, hey, this is a trap, and traps are never good.
Well, and see, and that's what sucks though too, guys, because I got to see what a healthy relationship was, because my mother and father were married for 42 years before my dad passed. So when you have something like that and you have a good example, it's like, why wouldn't I want that? Why wouldn't I expect that? Why wouldn't I go look for that?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I can't say I've seen a healthy relationship, because my mom and dad were, at each other's throat most of the time. My house was full of conflict. So, I mean, no, even without my experience, I think that's why I held off so long. But I should have held off, the whole way, because it totally was not worth it.
No. And it's always implied that we love our kids. I hate when people say, well, don't you love your kids? You wouldn't have had any kids. Shut the fuck up. It's already implied. Yes, I love my kids. But if you were to ask me, would I go through and do it again? No, I would not. I can tell you guys I would not do it again.
No, not a fucking chance.
No.
Not a chance, homie.
Yeah. Fucking sad.
If it was like, I should say that, I should put a caveat on there. If it was as fucking easy as it was for my first, in my second marriage, yeah, I'd do it again. But my first marriage, no. My supposedly what was supposed to be my forever wife, and have her leave because I'm not fucking scruffy enough.
Oh, you're very scruffy.
I am now, but at the time I was not.
Well, these are the
Well,
people.
when you say scruffy, I hear like you put up with bullshit that you probably shouldn't have, which we ought.
No, when she said, I was working construction when we met. We had a kid. I used my GI Bill to go back to school. Got a good job. Started making a lot of money. And 12 years go by, and she still wants the fucking construction worker. Sorry, but construction workers don't make $150,000 a year.
Wait a minute. So you're making more money, but yet you are more a white collar or professional.
Yeah, I'm an engineer.
And that made her look. I'm just trying to wrap around the female fucking mind at this point.
Don't try to understand.
There's no way to fucking understand it.
You'll have a brain aneurysm if you try to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was cheating on me with a cop who made $32,000 a year and fucking is addicted to fucking opium.
She wanted a bad boy.
Christ. And that's why they're going to be alone. They're going to wish that they didn't do what they did, but by that time, it's going to be too late. And you know what's also messed up, which makes zero sense to me, and I don't try to figure it out because I want my brain to still function, is how their demands and their preferences and everything like that actually go up the older they get. I'm like, you have less to offer the older you are, yet you are more picky. That makes zero fucking sense.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. Making 0 sense is exactly how you have to look at it.
I deserve it. I'm a female. Hear me roar. Rawr.
I bring me to the table, Brandon. That should be enough.
I am
I think-
able.
I think part of that is because of the alpha widow syndrome.
Yeah.
The older that they get,
It
they've
could be.
had experience or they've been, married, divorced. And literally, I think the biggest hard mode for a man is to marry a divorced mother with 2 kids with
What I
a
did.
alpha widow that has made 200, 150, 200, 250,000. And you're like making good money at 100, you will always, your life is fucked.
Yeah, no, I married a widow, but I don't know. She was probably an alpha widow before he met her.
Oh,
Well,
speaking
gentlemen,
of,
I'm down to 15% on my battery. So I think we're going to close her up.
All right, brother. Well, hey, pooping while standing, Chris. Good to see you, Brandon. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. You guys have a great night, Brandon. Get wherever it is you're going to go safe.
Okay, so
All right.
hey, Father Saunders, you might have missed it, but either tomorrow night or Saturday night, we're going to be redoing my fucking Tinder profile bio, and we're going to put in as much of the shit they hate to hear as we can. And so we're going to do a collab together, and we're going to make, because I only got 500 letters that I can put in. So we have to make a very straightforward list, like no BBWs, no single mothers, or like you got to know the difference between a single mother and a parent, which really pisses them off.
That actually sounds really fun.
Yeah, no,
Chris,
it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. And I am definitely putting it, I am absolutely 100% serious. It is going to go on there live.
That's
hey, Chris, awesome. I will Patreon you for the first month of Tinder in order to get that like escalated.
Oh, you want to boost it?
We've connected on Telegram. I will give you. But I want to be on there to I think that's going to be fucking brilliant.
Dude,
that would be awesome. Yeah, continue to let me know when you're going to do that, and I will try to be there. I'm going to go ahead and let Brandon go here, guys. So you guys have a good night.
You too, brother. Yeah, no, it's going to be awesome, guys.
I love it. I mean, I look forward to the creative content that's going to take place. That's going to be like almost a catfishing event.
Well, any final thoughts?
Oh, final thoughts.
The only thing I would say, if you guys have like equities in the market, US, you might want to, if you're a not a scalper, but somebody that is not a long-term investor, get out now, wait probably maybe 2 or 3 quarters and get back in.
Let it crash.
Or get into commodities, XLE or CMDI, oil, WTI, whatever. If you're in technology, you probably need to get out now. I mean, you should have gotten out earlier, but and again, I don't know about it Canadian, but we're down 20% roughly on the NASDAQ, 18%. It's going to go down further, and just hold and wait for anyway. I don't want to. Yeah, I feel like what I say, like everybody has to get to their own perspective. But what I know, what I'm doing, I would have cash on the side and wait. If you're dollar cost averaging in, you got a lengthy time, good. Keep doing it. But if you are looking at shaving or taking scalping the market, yeah, this is the time to get out now.
Wow.
Anyway, that's my 2 cents, 1 cent.
All right. Good night.
Good night, dude.
All right, Brandon, take care.
And Chris.
I don't have any final thoughts. I'm all excited about doing the Tinder thing now. So, final thoughts on that, I'd have to say, with what Pooping was saying about the whole they don't love you, I am wholeheartedly 100% convinced that they're incapable of it. Anything else,
Yeah, I am too.
they can't handle. So,
unless you bring them validation or prestige.
Yeah, but that's just it. They'll get used to that, and then it won't be enough.
Yeah,
you can only go so high, but they don't believe in a limit.
Yeah,
because they don't live in reality.
All right. Have a good night, and I will talk to y'all later.
Good night.